What's up, everybody? It is Daddy Goods, and once again, we got the homie NikeMD in the building. How are you today, brother?
I'm doing all right, bro. How you doing?
I'm pretty swell, splendid. Eating a protein bar right now, getting ready to feast my eyes on this magnificence that I know you're going to grace everybody with today.
Most def, man. We got a lot of good stuff for today, man. For real, for real. Like we've been putting out like shot with a new model. Do a little reveal. I figured I'd show everybody the set that I posted at Patreon, so people can get a look at that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty dope, man. Like I'm excited for it, most definitely, because I know you do a lot of work with, new models that people haven't seen. Is this her right here?
This is her right here. That's Jade Marie, and
Oh,
I'll put out the. Yep, you can search her on IG and find all the stuff there. But yeah, we did a lot of cool videos. We took this set. She's amazing. She's a fetish model and like a pro dom as well.
wow.
So,
Okay.
She came through and did the damn thing. She did that one on her own. She was just like, yo, I think that's going to be a good angle.
She's a natural rap.
Telling you, man. So she was dope to work with, dope to connect with, super chill. There was this one pic I think we took where when we were doing this sequence, I was telling her, like, no one I've ever shot with is able to, like, do the soccer move like this and, like, keep it at the tip without it popping off. And she took that as a challenge. So, like, she was trying to do it like Rose. Like, no one ever does this first. Like, anytime it comes to here, it always just pops off. So she tried to do it. So, like, in this next one, that's why she was so geeked, because she was able to do it from that last one where it didn't pop off.
Look how clear and focused you get the pictures, man. That's pretty magnificent right there.
It's all about lighting, man. Like, it really is. Like, I got off to the side. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but, like, off to the side, like here, I got a soft box. So we have the sunlight coming through, lighting it from the back, and lighting the room up. But then I get a soft box with a flash that's focused on her feet. And then I get a soft box with a flash that's focused on her face. So I can lower my, actually over here, if you look over on this side, so I can keep my ISO super low to keep the pictures clear. So, like, even on your cell phone or on the camera, like when you get a dim photo, the camera, your cell phone camera and GoPros and stuff, they have their auto ISO. So, like, it'll push the ISO super high to make sure it brightens up the picture. But the higher you push it, the more grainy the picture is. So on these, if I can keep it super low, and then usually on pro cameras, if you keep it super, even if you push it higher, you can get better results. But when you get the ISO super low and you get the camera super close, you got a decent lens, you can push this like super
what?
Get super detail. So you can get that detail like right in there. And that's just because it's a good camera, good focus.
Oh, you can get an actual like toe print on there.
Mm-hmm. All about the lighting, the camera settings, and the lens.
We're about to break into her phone.
If she's one of those people that loses her foot on her phone, then I think that'll work.
We got her figured out.
But yeah, so this is the full set that I posted Patreon, so people can take a look at it and roll. When you're on Patreon, you can do your own zooming in and stuff like that and roll. But yeah, she was super cool to shoot with.
So, like, how many lights would you have in an already lit room?
All depends on like the effect I'm trying to go for, the look I'm trying to go for this. I kind of wanted it to look semi-natural, where it would just look like this is just lit, like the room's lit this way. It was an overcast day, so we got soft light coming in from behind. And the cool thing about this studio is that everything's white or light, so like light bounces really well. So we get that first level, just ambient light. And then I have a soft box that you can't see over this side that's like pointing at her face. So it's coming down. So, and when you're lighting with a soft box, you're lighting with light. Just generally you're lighting a person's face, particularly women. You don't want it straight on. You want it coming down. So like if they got any dark circles or anything around the eyes, like it fleshes all that out. It helps you in editing, but then also like makes them look really good. And if you can make a model look good, she's going to want to shoot with you all the time. And then I got another soft box that's just focused on her feet. So like I can get that good detail. And the good thing about shooting on a white reflective table like this is you get that bounce, so there's not a lot of shadow coming. So you get the light bouncing coming from here, comes back up. So you can, even when she points like her toes down or something, you can still get good light. It's not like shadowed out or focused out or anything.
Right. It definitely seems like she has some experience doing foot modeling, however. Modeling for sure, but maybe even some
Mm-hmm.
foot modeling as well.
Oh, definitely. She's definitely done fetish modeling and stuff like that before. She does traditional modeling as well. But
Hmm.
yeah, she knew. And when you're working with someone like that, it's easier because they know all the beats. Like they know poses and things that look good before you do it. When I'm working with models that that haven't done it before, it's just more explaining and talking to them about it. That's what it really is. It's just more just all right, like this is the pose I want you in, and you got to, pose them a little bit more than you would just someone who's done this before. If they've done it before, they just kind of know what's going to look good on camera because they've seen their own photos, they've taken their own pictures. So like they kind of have an eye for already what's going to look good and how to pose
Yeah.
themselves,
Hmm. What's fascinating to me is if you're somebody who does appreciate a good petty, some nice looking feet with some heels on and all that stuff, you really
Mm-hmm.
haven't discovered the true joy of the soles yet. Like once you start like diving into the niche and you discover like, wow, the soles is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like the huge deal right there.
That's the most popular thing on my Patreon. I get people who join up because of that, because that's usually what I focus on. So people who see me posting on social media and stuff, they're joining because of that. I get DMs about appreciating like how much soul content we have on here. So I've tried to get a little more toe action in there as I've gone on, which I got a set coming up I think this week, either this week or next week, that focus on the toes a little bit more. But
Hmm.
it's mainly been the soul action for most of the people that join up, and that's most of the content on my channel.
Right. How often do you have a model booked for a photo shoot, or is your work week typically based around editing?
Right now, like I got a day job that like the hours are pretty flexible, but like I still got those set hours I got to do in that day. So it's usually I try to get like one or two in a week. Some weeks there's three or four shoots, um, and some weeks there's just none because I've done a lot and I just need a break. And then the rest of the time is like photo editing, video editing, um, special effects editing. Those videos take like months sometimes because I got to work on those in the background. With my current computer setup, it takes a long time to render graphics. So those are
Yeah.
done in chunks in the background. Photo editing I'm doing every week. Some type of video editing I'm doing every week because I try to get a foot focus video out every week and a Giantess focus video out every week, plus like a Giantess edit and or a Giantess like you know, POV shot like we were talking about earlier before we got on, or like a prop shot of like some, like tiny people that I have. So I usually try to get two of those in a week, and then like I said, 2 foot photo shoots a week. That are usually from like 15 or 30 photos, usually on average. And then I get some editor tier stuff, so stuff that other Giantess editors can use to edit their own photos with that are high quality because I don't there's not a lot of people putting out like high quality material for like edits for people to use on their own. So like I try to do that for my members as well on a tier. So yep.
Do you feel like to accomplish a really dope piece as far as Giantess edits go, you almost kind of need the high resolution, high quality photos and video? Would you agree?
Yes and no. It makes it a lot easier, and we can switch into that right now because I got these photos queued up. I'm trying to decide which one I want to go with. So actually let you pick which one we're gonna go with.
Okay, okay.
Um, it's because I started out not using really high quality photos because I was just using photos that were online that people are posting, which isn't a lot. Either models or like someone else was posting stuff, like they took some photos of their girlfriend or whatever. And then when I was doing like graphics and stuff, that a lot of them were Giantess focused, but a lot of them not on Twitter from Findoms and stuff like that and other fetish models. Like 90% of them don't got no pro camera or someone else who's willing to take pictures for them all the time. So they're just using their phones, and some of them know good lighting techniques, others don't. So some of those are the real grainy ones and stuff like that. And I had to learn to work and use those, um, just the same. So it's one of those situations where I've done both. I like using high quality photos. You can get a lot deeper in the different photos. Like if you want to like just zoom in and make like a photo
Mhm.
here just to her feet, then you can because it's just high quality, as
Yeah.
opposed to doing the whole thing with the other one with lower quality photos. Not possible. You can't just key in on certain parts of a photo and crop in and things of that nature. So
yeah. I see what you mean. No, that's wild. All right, so we're picking out of this one because we're gonna, or this one. Okay, I like that one because she's like looking off in the distance and like looking for her next crushing victim. Let's see, but this one is like she just got done crushing and she's like, look at her hand. Her hand is like she's ready for whoever's next. You know what I mean? It's like her hand is like a claw right there. I think we should roll with this one right here.
all right, we're gonna roll with this one. And what we're doing today is a remix of a photo that I did yesterday for my Patreon. So we're just going to remix it a little bit and roll. And if you want to see that other photo, you can sign up on my Patreon and do it. But if you just want to, you know, kind of key in on this, we can. I'm just making sure I got my temps right and toning her, making sure she got a good color tone on her too.
Bet. See, you know what you're doing, man. You're talking about the toners and the temperatures of the photo and all that.
Yeah, like I said, it's about making the models look good, man. Making sure you're doing the thing. Like, cause you know, even with, you know, because a lot of what I do is, you know, you models have a rate, you pay them a rate to shoot with them and do content and stuff, and that's it. But even when they're getting paid, man, they're gonna have people that they like shooting with and they don't like shooting with, based off of how they look, you know. So it's one of those situations. All right, so what we're gonna do, since this was a wide angle lens, and you can kind of see it's kind of out of proportion at the edges because that's what there's a little bit of distortion in wide angle lenses. I'm going to use a program called Luminar AI, which is an AI based photo editing program that I use as a plugin on Photoshop. So it uses artificial intelligence to help you edit photos.
All right, I'm gonna timestamp as we go because we need timestamps for these creators editions with NikeMD because he really takes us through an actual process of this all. So let's see all right, 1320. NikeMD describes Luminar or something like that. I got you. I
love it.
I need somebody to start doing timestamps for me. Like, what's up, man? What's up to the viewers, man? Somebody become a moderator and help the channel out too, man. You know?
Oh, for real, bro.
Somebody
should definitely be on that.
Most definitely. And shout out to the people that are watching live and actually dropping comments too, man. We appreciate that. Shout out to Chris Nelson, Giantess Studios, Mama Goods. Aren't you in the other room? Shout out to Alan. Shout out to Street Champs. Hey, those are the homies right there. It says Daddy Goods interview coming soon. You already know. Tiny Man. Shout out to Tiny Man. Did I say Tyler already? Shout out to Anthony Carrillo. Yeah, man. Appreciate that. All right.
So we just basically undistorted it a little bit. Still a little bit of distortion, but I'm going to do the same thing on the background photo as well to make it match, to make it look a little bit better. But that's if you haven't heard of Luminar AI, even if you're like a model and you're doing your own pics, it's a really, really good software because you can do a lot of editing on there that's similar to Lightroom, but has AI based calculations and stuff for things based off of like people's face, like millions of, like thousands of people's faces and things like that. It knows where the face is at. It knows how to slim the face. It'll slim a waist. It'll do like all these different things that like might take you hours in Photoshop to do super quick.
And so Luminar is able to predict like a next move almost.
It's able to predict like based off the settings. It's able to predict like if I was to slim her waist, it would know where her waist is based off of thousands of photos that are similar, and it would be able to like slim the waist a little bit when on a slider. You know, same thing with the face. If you just want to slim her face or something like that, if you wanted to remove blemishes, it's not so good with the blemish removal. That's why I kind of do it manual. There's certain things it's good at and certain things it's getting better at. When I opened it up, it showed that it was on an update. So they update it, and they have and you know, they have things that are do a little bit, you know, that they'll get better at over time. But I mainly use it for lens distortion, and I'll use it for some light blemish removal on some photos when I know I need to get them done quick or something.
And shout out Luminar. Hey, I was talking with NikeMD before we started the live broadcast, And I was telling him like, man, today was like my lackadaisical morning. I woke up a little later. I haven't even like got ready or nothing like that. I'm like, man, today is one of those days where I just let NikeMD take over. I'm like, man, this is like a break day for me. I'm just like chilling. Like you don't have to see my face or nothing like. Oh, what? I don't gotta comb my hair. What? Actually, I just been throwing hats on lately anyway. So, but yeah,
I've been
man.
doing the same thing, bro. For real. I need a
Yeah,
haircut in the worst way. I just still been throwing a hat on until I get to the barbershop, man. For real.
man, bro. I'll be trying to make the haircut stretch though, man. I'm like, man, how can I?
Oh, 100%.
Because I tell you what, man, like totally off subject, man, but I feel like barbers, you gotta hook your barber up, man. Like when you pay your barbers,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta like pay them. Like their price point might be $30 or $40, but man, you gotta slap that $20 tip on top of that too,
Oh
man.
yeah,
Like
man.
you have to, man. Like
Yeah,
because the
man.
barbers,
Even if it's a bad cut, like, or not a bad cut, I haven't got a bad cut in a while. But even if it's a cut that I'm not like super happy with, bare minimum tip is $10, man. Bare minimum for me, even on those.
oh
But
yeah,
people I know,
oh
yeah, you got to something at 15, not 20.
oh yeah, absolutely, man. Bare minimum, man. But yeah, like even on those messed up cuts, man, you still gotta show love, man, because they're trying their hardest to really make you look nice. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, and it could have been after they did like 40 cuts before you or whatever, and they ain't eat or something like that, and it was just an off cut for them or something.
Hey, listen, this doesn't count for those who go to like super cuts and stuff like that, though, man.
Oh,
This don't count for that. Y'all can keep on tipping 5. Right. Oh man, I'm just saying, like, no. So like a place like Supercuts, and I mean, I don't think I know the most about this topic because I'm not a barber, but I'm pretty sure a place like Supercuts, they give you a time limit as the person cutting hair, and you have to get that person out of the chair that quick. So they don't really like put in that real art behind the haircut like they probably could and should. But if you go to a barbershop, those guys are in there like, they're like perfecting their craft and trying to build an actual clientele for themselves, not the shop.
yeah.
So it's like it's more love behind the lineup is all I'm saying. But anyways, back to lining up this photo.
and on top of that, it's a hangout spot for them too. On top of that, it's like it's not just them just at the shop, just at work. Like they're there chilling too. Like anyone who watches has been to like most black barbershops, and that's one that I go to. It's like the dude will be cutting hair, and then like you'll be next. You're like, oh, hold on, man, I need to go get something to eat. He'll go, you know what I mean? He'll go down the street real quick, or like he'll send like one of the young dudes who's sweeping up in there to go down the street, come back with a plate like some chicken wings or whatever, or like some, or right. Something from the barbecue joint, man, and just be eating that real quick because he ain't eat all day, and get that and scoop that in the roll because like they don't leave, like they don't leave the shop, like they're there all day, like trying to make dough. So
yeah. Hey, you ever show up to the barbershop and your barber wasn't there and you're like, oh snap, and you're like, man, but I really need a haircut though, and then they show you like who's available and you're just like, looks like I'm going scruggly today.
Particularly when it's the dude who you see in there all day, who's not cutting nobody's head. Like he's just on his phone all day. He gets no cuts, and you just know, oh yeah, I'm never going to that dude. And then he's the dude who's available today that you got to get your cut done, and your barber's not there. You're just like, oh shit, yeah, no, I'm gonna just keep the hat on. I'm gonna just roll. Hope I ain't got to go to nobody's wedding or nothing, or like something formal for work or nothing in a minute.
Dude, I had a barber one time, and he would constantly get locked up for like miscellaneous reasons. Like he wasn't like a violent dude, like he wasn't out there like killing people or nothing like that, but he would just get locked up for the dumbest shit, like drinking,
trying to get it the hard way. Oh, okay.
That too, but drinking and driving is one of them. But anyways, like I show up and they're just like, oh, he's not here today, yeah, he's on vacation, and I'm like, oh, I know what that means. And I know he's not in the Bahamas. And I'm just like, all right, man, well, I really need a cut today, so who's got me? And there's a guy in there that I've never been cut by before. I've never even seen his face before, and I'm like, all right, bet I'll go ahead and get cut by you. Bro, I thought I was getting cut by Mike Tyson, bro. He was so aggressive, bro. Like
One of
damn
those
near
dudes.
punching my head. Yeah, man, like damn near punching my head. I'm like, this can't be going well. And I'm just like, hey, you mind if I like take a look, see like what you got going on? He's like, yeah, sure, bro. He showed me my cut. I was like, bro, just shave it.
We're starting over. We're nuking this one. we taking a nuclear option, man. We just going. Just start over.
Yeah, this is you just got 25 kills in a row. We're nuking it. You just went on a kill streak on the back of my head, bro. It's game over. Nuke it. Yeah, it was one of those situations. But yeah, man, you gotta tip your barbers, everybody. The moral of the story, you know, we somehow went on a 5-minute rant about that, but I think we got time today, man. I think we got time. So here we are with NikeMD. Once again, everybody, I know most people tuning into this, you already know who NikeMD is, and you already know what he does. He is a master of his craft at the Giantess Edits and just editing photos, taking photos, and making them look good in general. And currently, right now, it looks like you're on Photoshop right now, correct?
Yeah, so I'm in Photoshop. And for the people who didn't see the first one, because I talked about this in depth in the first one, is like I'm cutting her out using the pen tool. And I think when we talked about this the first time, you're asking if there was any other methods to do it. And there are, like the quick selection tool, stuff like that. But with the pen tool, I get a lot more control. And I've been doing it this way forever. So like I always kind of do it this way. I've been doing it this way since I started, like in I think it was right after college. No, it was in college. And I was using the pen tool, but I wasn't doing Giantess Edits in college yet. I started doing them after college. So I learned how to use it in college, making backgrounds from my laptop back in the day, just sports backgrounds, you know, cutting out, you know, sports people, you know, my favorite sports people, and like making this like dope backgrounds with them back in the day.
Did you collect cards?
Me, no, I never got into card collecting because like I'm one of those dudes. Just like if I don't have the whole set, like I'm hot, and like I'm also one of those dudes that's not gonna spend $1 million to try to get all of them. The only thing that I've ever done that was Pokemon cards, or like, and I think that's where it came from, because like I got Pokemon cards. I had like out of the original 150, I had like 140. Like I almost had every single one.
Yeah.
And then somebody stole them all, and after that, I was just like, I'm done. Like I'm just done. Like I'm done. I was so hot that I was just done.
Damn, man. Yeah, man. I can see how you get mad, man, at that. Yeah, like, or even like the Pokemon cards, man. The Pokemon cards, that's like a huge thing still.
Yeah. If I still would have had that collection, because I had like an original, like the first edition they released in the US, Charizard and holographic Charizard, and that thing is worth a ton right now. Like if I still had that set, it would have been. I don't know if I would have sold it. If it like, I'll put it this way: if the price was right, I would have sold it. Like if that Charizard was going for like 10 stacks, us gone. I'm sorry. Like, so there's nothing from my childhood that's worth more than $10,000 for me to keep. Like, you know what I mean? Like if someone's like, yo, I'll give you $10,000 for like you know your first like pacifier or whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is. Yo, right. you can have it, bro. Like even if mom was like, even if it was special to my mom, I'd expect, hey mom, we're about to get paid. I'm about to cut you $5,000 off of this. We about to both get paid. So let's just roll. Right. Like no matter what it is, like I don't care what it is.
Yeah, man. You got to take the money, man. When the money's right, you got to take it.
My mom's the same way. She gave me I think it was
a hustler's mentality.
Hustler mentality, but also like she gave me like this limited edition Muhammad Ali watch. They only made like 1,000 of, and she was like, "Yo, if that thing's ever worth money, I'm not gonna be mad if you sell it." Like that's my mom's mentality too.
Yeah. She bought it like as a gift, but she's like, but you know, it's low key an investment as well.
Yeah, if you make some dough off it, she's like, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. Now that real talk, man. But that's funny though about Charizard. It's like, see you later, little buddy.
Oh, he'd be gone, man. That's like one of my like top 3 favorite Pokemon too. He'd have been gone, been out.
Yeah, man. We've been buying oh yeah, 10 stacks. See you later. Yeah. Has a Pokemon card ever been worth that kind of money?
I'm not sure. I think the last time I looked at the Charizard that I had, it was worth like $500 or something like that. So I'm not sure.
Shit, I'd let it go for 500.
Like for 500, oh, that's gone.
Yeah,
I
10, let
think
alone 10 stacks. Like,
since it's like meant so much to me, like I think my threshold is a stack, $1,000. If someone's trying to give me $1,000 for any Pokemon card, even if it was like something that I really really liked, yeah, I'm parting with it. We parting ways.
we're parting ways. That's a funny way to put
Yeah,
it. All right,
I'm
so
not even thinking about it.
since we're talking about investments and valuable cards and baseball cards and Pokemon cards and all that stuff, have you ever thought about making your art an NFT style?
Um, yes and no. When NFTs first dropped, I was thinking about it, but then when like I learned more and more about them, and like the more I learned about them, the less I understood. And if there was something, and like if something is like that, where like the more I learn about, the less I know about it, I'm probably gonna stay away. You
Hmm.
know, like if
So
if
you
I can't
feel,
fully understand what I'm doing with something,
yeah,
then this is probably an extreme example, but I make it akin to like owning a gun. Like
yeah,
if I got this gun and like I don't know anything about guns or how to use a gun, why do I have a gun? You know what I mean? like
yeah.
why do I have a gun for if I don't know how to use it? And like
I,
it's not a one for one example, but it's kind of my mentality.
I feel you on that. Is the city and state you live in, are they good with guns as far as gun laws go? Like, are you allowed to have one?
Oh yeah, I live in Pennsylvania, man, and the last time I checked, I think Pennsylvania has the most concealed carry licenses in, per capita in the country. So yeah, they
Oh
all
wow,
about that. They all about that smoke. PA
all
is all
about.
about that smoke.
Yeah, see, Nevada, Nevada is very gun friendly. Like, all you got to do is be 18 years old, and you can walk in there and get a gun damn near the same day,
Oh
and
dang.
yeah, and you can open carry it, all that stuff. So you can go and walk into a grocery store with a gun hanging off your hip, or anywhere with a gun hanging off your hip, except
Phew.
yeah, except pretty much like casinos and stuff. You can't walk into a casino, hit the craps table with a gun on your hip. But anywhere else, you're damn near good. So when I moved to Las Vegas, man, I definitely went gun happy, and I do have some that I have no idea about. So what you were just I have a few that I haven't shot yet, and every time I pick it up and I'm like, I'm gonna shoot you one of these days, and I cock it back, I'm like, damn, how do I get it back though? Like, how do I put the you know what I mean? Pause. I'm like, how do I put it back? Like, I don't even know how to work this. Like, why do I even have it? Why do I have this huge fucking 50-round drum on this? Like, like why?
Like I said, man, I'm the same with just most things, not just like stuff like guns and stuff. I'm the same with most things. Like if I don't know how to work it, like why do I have it? And I'm not sitting here like trying to seem like I'm holier than thou. Of course, I've had things in the past, and I probably got shit right now. Not even probably, I got stuff right now that I don't know how to work that I have. I think that's just part of being a dude. We're like we just got shit, like just stacked. I think that's just part of being a dude.
It's in our
Um,
nature, no doubt. It's like in our nature to have something that we don't know how to use, and then we figure out how to use it, and we have all the fun with it. Kind of sound
oh,
familiar? It starts with a D, ends with a K, and rhymes with stick. You've guessed. We got that, and once we learn how to use it, we never stop.
I mean, you're not wrong.
That's what I'm saying, though. But I think that's just in our nature as men. Like, we like to have stuff, and
Hmm.
discover the beauty of it. Kind of like having Photoshop. Once you discover the beauty of Photoshop, you never wanted to stop.
It's a lot like that, but with a whole bunch of software programs. I'll probably like that more with like gear and software than I am anything else. Like I got so many dang software programs that I just never use, and I'm including apps in that too. Like will stack up apps that we
Yeah,
just don't even use.
right.
You know.
So let's describe to everybody that might just be clicking in right now what we got going on.
So right now we're doing like a perspective shot with Jade, and I'm trying to decide where I want to clip it and cut it and keep everything in frame, because like the thing that I talked about last time was, and was a big revelation to me, was like, not only can you just augment and cut out and distort and change the model, but you can also do that to the background to fit the model's perspective or the camera perspective. Because for me, it's about how close can I get it to her to fit to fit the perspective we have on her. And then once I get it as close as possible, I'm gonna go back and illumine our AI for the background as well. Once I get it as close as possible, then I can use effects and different things to hide and mask some things. Like the other thing I told you about before last time that I was going to do on this one was I was going to add some things that don't make, like some pick a photo that has background things that don't really make that much sense in there to use, so we can mess around with it and toy around with what it'll look like to get rid of those things.
Right.
So one thing I did, and this is a good lesson too, is one thing I did before that I made a mistake of, is you see how like the straight lines are ridged now, like in this background photo.
I do, yeah.
So what I did was, before I turned it, and I'm gonna have to go back in history here, is I didn't turn it to a smart object. And what a smart object will do is it turns something as close to vector as it can, which means it's non-destructive and it recalculates the position of everything every time you move it or change it. When you have a file that's raster or like not, vector, like it is now, like when you move it around and change it, like it tried to augment it the best it can, but sometimes like it leaves ridges and imperfections in it. So when I augment things, what I always like to do is smart object at first, which I probably should in the first place. So I'm gonna switch it up. But then when you turn it, it just recalculates things. I'm gonna turn it to kind of the perspective it was, and it mitigates and it cuts out on that rigidness. Like now it's a little bit better.
Yeah, I can't stand rigidness. That happens on Instagram a lot. Like when I'm trying to post something, and I'll try to make the photo I'm posting to my story a little smaller, and then it'll like give me that rigid line look, and I'm like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. It's either the photo, because there's a lot of things that happen with Instagram. One, it likes files of certain sizes, and you can always Google like what file sizes Instagram is liking. From year to year, I think it changes. And also, like if the photo's not super high quality, when it downsamples, it won't downsample to like a high quality downsample. So then you'll get that sometimes.
Oh, I got a good question for you, man, actually, and this is gonna help me a lot too. So when I take pictures with my Canon Mark 50,
Mm-hmm.
all right, the photos, I'm not sure exactly what size they come out like straight from the camera, but I'll edit it, I'll get it all ready, and then I'll go to post it to Instagram, and it like doesn't fit the screen at all. Like, how do I prevent that from happening?
So Instagram, I think the limit for like those vertical photos that it does is like 5:7 aspect ratio. So it's about the aspect ratio, if that's what you're talking about, in terms of like it's too long, either horizontally or vertically, for it to fit the way you think it wants to fit. So like
Exactly.
that's what it is. Like you got to fix that aspect ratio, like in a photo editor, and then try to crop it to that, and try to keep as much of the original photo in as you can. I started designing photos and stuff to fit that. Like this one, probably won't match that, but like I'll put it in there in a way that I can try to fit it in there when I post it to Instagram.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind, because when I did try to upload a photo that I took with my actual camera, like, man, dude, I couldn't figure it out. And I had to try to resize it a few times. And then when I go to upload it on IG, it has like these black borders on the side of it. And I'm like, man, I didn't want that though.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's like kind of frustrating. And you're like, man, like I don't think that it looks good with those black borders on it. It would have came out way better if it was just, like when you upload a larger picture on IG and you put it, you click full size, and then when you're looking at it, it's like actually full size. as you're scrolling
Mm-hmm.
down, that looks way better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all about aspect ratios, honestly. Like that's what you gotta contend with when you're doing that, and like doing adjusting aspect ratios and stuff like in whatever photo editing software you're using first will go a long way before you go to Photoshop. I mean, before you go to Instagram, it'll help out a lot.
Gotcha.
All right. So I just messed with the aspect ratio of the actual photo, so I bowed it a little bit to kind of scoop in and up, kind of like her photo. So we're trying to match that up. Now the thing that I wanted to do in this example here too, and the reason I picked this photo is like you see there are like these light posts that are in front of her. And like I think a lot of people deal with that. Sometimes they'll try to design around it and put someone in, in there or like place somebody around them, but sometimes it won't work for your photo. Like for this, she's gonna be a little bit too out of frame on this side. And I really want to have her head kind of central in this area. And if I
Okay.
try to do it this way, it cuts her off a little bit too much, and I'll have to bring in more of that photo than I want to. And I'm going to try to keep this where it needs to be. So what I do here, and what you can do for a lot of different photos, like I said, the same way you can cut things out, like cut a model out and stuff like that. You can cut things out of the photo and place them in front of things. I do this a lot with like buildings and things of that nature. I'm gonna just take the pen tool on this sucker, on this John, and we're gonna do the same thing we did with her. Just cut it out and just place it in front. And I'm gonna try to do it kind of quick.
My guy. Let's play some music real quick. I said I was gonna invite a few people to come and say what's up, and I actually forgot to ask anybody. And I'm gonna do a quick little close friends IG here. Come join the live. My son NikeMD now, no cameras, just voice. Come answer a Giantess question or two. All right.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah. I meant to. I was like, man, that'd be kind of dope, man, to have some people join in on the chat, because I feel like the dope part about this is like we're just kind of hanging out and doing an edit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm shadowing.
Chat, oh, what are you gonna say?
I'm like shadowing you, like while you work.
This would, I mean, a lot of. I used to do this. I did this with a couple of models who were serious about trying to get into photo edit. So I did a couple zoom. I did some zooms with them. One of them was actually Tasty Touristo. Like we used to go on Zoom, and I used to show her how I was doing stuff. And she actually has a couple edits she made like on her OnlyFans. So if anyone's ever interested, you can go in there and like some ones that she actually made herself after we did some walkthroughs.
Oh, that's pretty dope. And then she uploaded the ones that she did of herself.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking dope. Hey, tell me about the animation tinies that you've been working on.
So the VFX is actually pretty cool. I use Unreal Engine, so it's like a software they use to make games and stuff like that. And to animate, I'm going to be using Blender a little bit more. So I'll put them in videos and for like that chicks will interact with, Crush, stuff like that. I got some dope ones that are on the way. One that I shot with Sunday, I think last week, and then another one that I'm going to be shooting with Kate tomorrow. And those usually take a little bit. Those take a while to kind of edit, because in the background, people order customs with effects and stuff like that. So I'm usually working on those in the back as well. That for the most part, most of them go on my Patreon as well. So that's something I had to teach myself, because I've never done VFX or anything like that before. So I've been teaching myself that in the background. So people order customs that have helped me learn. That I had to go to YouTube or whatever, get a couple courses on and learn how to use some of the software. My laptop is all right when it comes to that. It takes forever. So in August, I'm doing a PC build that's actually totally Patreon funded, man. Like I'm using funds, so 100% of the funds that I got from Patreon to do it in August to build that PC. So I'm going to be building one on my own and actually like buying all the parts and getting back to my roots and just like putting everything together.
Do you ever get custom requests from the viewers?
Like that viewed the show,
that
that have done the
view
podcast.
your Patreon, that are fans of your Patreon channel.
Oh, that's where most of the customs come from,
Okay.
because I think most of them come from that because they get a daily dose of what my customs look like. Because I'll post customs I've done before, and it's easier for someone to order something or do something when they've seen it. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, like this is the quality, this is the level that he works with. So, but yeah, we
What
just cut
about?
out that post.
Okay, so we just cut out. Oh wait, so you just okay.
So yeah, I cut it out and then copied it and then put it in front of her on the levels here. So this is her actually on this side. So that's actually Jade there. And this is going to be post 1. So yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's how you get it done.
That's how you get it done, son.
We're gonna work on this one next, and that'll be probably the only one that I do. I might not do this one. I don't think it's in her path. Yeah, we don't have to do that one, but we're gonna do this one here.
What about, has a guy ever said, hey, I want you to do an edit of like maybe like his wife or something like that? Somebody who doesn't really do modeling, but he just has a fantasy of somebody in his actual life.
Yeah, all the time. When I used to do commissions like that just for pics and stuff all the time. I just don't have as much time from right now.
Yeah.
Because most of the stuff is Patreon stuff, and like the vast majority, 90% of those, they're just not good quality pics because not everyone's a professional photographer. So like I'm not expecting them to be.
Yeah.
But those just take so much. It takes a longer time to work with when you're working with like lower resolution photos or like photos that aren't taken from an angle. So like now conceptually, I got to spend more time on like, since it's usually like some guy or some girl or someone who took some photos they think are cool that will work, that like traditionally just won't work for like an edit, that you got to try to make work for edit, which takes a lot of work sometimes conceptually, where you just got to think about it, where it's not taken the way that I would take a pic that makes sense in my head for an edit. Like it may make more sense for someone else, when they're editing, but for me personally, it doesn't make sense in my head for how it worked with an edit for the way I view the world and how I view edits just naturally. So like I gotta dig a little deeper, and those take time. For the pictures that I take myself, like I take them in mind, with the knowledge of what I'm going to do with it, or the types of angles and stuff that I know that I can do something with in the future.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes total sense. I'm gonna have to take some and send you some of Mama Goods. I'm gonna be like, hey, we got to commission this man.
I'll definitely do a live on the show.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mama Goods is probably listening. Like, let's do it. I'm gonna crush Daddy Goods. Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll make me the tiny.
What would be dope is if you did it, if you actually took the photos like live on the show, like set up a camera or something while you're taking the photos, and then we edited them too, so people get the full.
Oh snap! Just airdrop it over to you. Not airdrop it, but email it over to you. Oh, what?
Just make it work, bro. And they get it from the womb to the tomb.
From the womb to the tomb. I love that.
I used to say that. I don't know if a rapper said that. I forget where I got that from. I think some rapper, somebody said that.
From the womb to the tomb. Love that.
All right. So we cut out the second light post. And we're going to turn that to a smart object like I was talking about before. When you turn to the smart objects, it doesn't, when you have to move them or edit them, it's non-destructive. I'll put it on top of Jade. So there we go. Looking good in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. All right. So you removed the light posts, and then you put it back. So what was the can you reiterate the purpose of removing the light post again?
So the reason why, and I didn't remove it, I just made a copy of it. And I'm switching our orientation because I'm realizing that the light's coming from this side instead of the other side.
Okay.
So we're going to do this. So we're going to set this up a little bit differently. It actually work. I think it'll work a little bit better for a photo too. So what we did is, if we just did this photo, and we're talking about conceptually for people, as you see, like even if once she's placed this way, like she's standing in front of these light posts. So like in the photo, if you have it there, we know that this light post is in front of everything else, because anything else in the photo, like these buildings, this fence here, these parts of the street, it's over. So we know, and this is conceptually, like you know this inherently just by looking at it, but sometimes people can't articulate why you know it's in front of something. The same thing here. You know, it's in front of this building here, it's covering up this door, in front of these lines here. So you know, you can tell we have an inherent knowledge just based off of us looking at things throughout life, that we know what's in front of something or behind something.
Yeah.
But sometimes we don't articulate that when we're doing or making edits like this. So in this case, it wouldn't make sense if her foot is also on top of these lines and also on top of this curb. It wouldn't, if we know that the light posts are the most, or like in the forefront of everything on the photo, why would her foot be in front of all these things too? So like what I did was I'd used a pen tool to highlight these and cut and make a copy of them. So I made a copy, and I'll illustrate a little bit better here. I made a copy of both of these just by themselves to put on top of these layers. So this is the first layer here, and then there's Jay's layer there, and then all of them are like that. So just the hierarchy of the two light posts. Boom.
I love how clean cut just the cutouts are, man. Like it's like really good. Like
that's why I like using the pen tool, man. I mean, that's one of the main reasons I like using that pen tool, is to get those nice clean cuts, bro.
Yeah, no, it looks really good. Hey, so I noticed that it's a little windy in that picture. Have you ever used like a fan to make a model's hair like blow during the photo shoot?
Not yet. And I'm gonna do this because Luminar came back up because I changed it a little bit. Not yet.
Very good.
Not yet, but I think it would be dope to do. It would be really dope. Like I haven't had a reason to yet. Like in something like this, it doesn't make that much of a difference in terms of what's happening here, even because our hair looks like it's moving just even a little bit up top. But like it's just never been one of those situations where it looked where it benefited me photo wise to do it that way yet.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I guess if she's that big too, like some wind that's blowing the palm trees wouldn't exactly be blowing her hair. Her hair would probably be like ropes.
Yeah. That's one thing I never even thought about. So that's a good thing to point out. All right. So the next thing we're going to work on is something that I see, in a lot of edits, I don't see people do. So this is something that I wanted to make sure, and we did this a little bit in the other one, but we'll make sure to do here. So like you see, the further you go up and further away from her feet, the blurrier the image is of her. But that's not the case with the background. So we got to change that background that way as well. So, and as you can see, as the further you come down, like it's more in focus. That's where the focus point was. So we can leave this stuff down here in focus. But the thing we want to do is make this stuff up top become a little bit less in focus. So the more precise way I'm going to do this is I want to create some blur in the back here as well, but also up top. So I'm going to pick a line with the pen tool to kind of cut across to here with, and to here with, and I'm going to blur the baseline of that up top, and then enroll. And I'm just going to use the buildings. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here, because the blue sky I really don't care too much about. So I'll show you what I mean in a second here. Let's actually close this other photo so we don't need it no more. All right, let's Photoshop is acting funky, so let's save this and then come back in and come back out.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Mid-live.
Always does. All right, cool. So what we're going to do here, and I might end up having to cut that out now because I'm going to blur this, and this shouldn't be so blurry. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here and what I'm talking about.
All right.
And this goes into what I was talking about before when I say, like, always feel the freedom to augment your setting, like your background photo as needed. And each step I take, I'm going to explain because we want to make a nice foreground, and this lamppost is going to be part of the foreground. It doesn't need to be super exact, but we just wanted to get close. We want it to be part of the foreground, so we're going to keep it in the foreground.
Timestampers, do you got that? 51 minutes, augment background explanation.
You're 51 minutes in already? Dang. I feel like we've been on for like 30 minutes, bro.
No, man. The last NikeMD exclusive we did was like 2.5 hours.
I think part of it too is like I've been doing this for so long that like you just learn to kind of get lost in it. So like you don't, like I don't really know how much time I put into something until like I'm done, honestly, because I don't usually track the time.
But like the great thing about doing it live and showing people what you're doing, I mean, not just are you showing them like step by step how to dive into an edit, you're letting them know your thought process on it. You're showing them how much time that it takes. And so if they're interested in doing this kind of art, they got to put all of those things into consideration, because it's like, all right, do I even have the time for this? Because if I want it to be as good as we know that the fans love and appreciate, like, then you got to like really put in some serious time to this kind of art right here. I mean, like just one edit could take, up to 2 to 3 hours,
Particularly, and the two things I want to take away from that is one, like the concepts behind things is something that when I first started, I wish I had someone to tell me about that, because like I had to learn a lot of the conceptual basis behind the things that I was doing, like why you would do this thing the hard way. Like I had to learn all that on my own. The other thing that I would want someone to do, the other thing I want is just like you were saying, like how much time that even when you get like super good at it, you still spend, because the way I make edits, like it's just super detailed. I think that's one of the reasons why I think people like them. So to get that detail takes some time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It definitely it shows when the final product is available, though. It shows the kind of time that it took to create it. So that's why your Patreon is so successful.
I appreciate that. I think it's one of those things where like you don't know it until you break it down. Like you don't know until someone's broken it down for you. That's what it takes. Where you don't know it until you actually sit down and think about it. And a lot of us just don't sit down and think about crap. Like with social media and all the other distractions you got, like you're just moving from one thing to the next thing and just consuming stuff instead of thinking down, sitting and thinking about like how I'm going to create something. So this is what this does for me too. It forced me to kind of slow down and think about how I'm going to create something.
So did you let Jade know that she was going to be the object that you are, or the center of attention basically on this podcast today?
Not at all. I'll be super surprised to her. I'm gonna send her a link.
Yeah.
Send her a link and be like, yo, you're on this pod today.
She's like, oh, what? Man, NikeMD turned you into the Giantess.
So what I'm doing now is, like I said before, we want to blur these buildings up top, but I want a base level of like blur on them. So I'm just cutting them out right now. So I'm just cutting this base because I want to keep this in focus, since we said, our feeder and stuff are in focus. So I'm just going to separate this piece from this piece, and we're going to keep it moving from there.
Okay. I'm like not all the way sure what you're saying right now, so I'm like watching real close right now, because I'm like, all right, I know I'm gonna understand in a second here.
When I cut it, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay. I'm still like looking to see if there's anybody getting railed on a balcony. Like that's, for some reason, that's where my mind goes. Unfortunately, I want it. Yeah, I just want it to be like the ultimate Easter egg on the podcast. It's like, wow.
All right, so I cut it out. I made my selection. of this part. I'm going to invert the selection because right now we have all of this selected. So the top part of the photo, we have that selected. I just want to select the bottom part because I want that to be in front. So what I'm going to do is right click and hit select invert. So now it's just selected this bottom piece. As you can see by what all the Martian ants kind of lines that we have here. So I'm going to copy that. And this is how I cut out the lamppost as well. So I copied it instead of destroyed that part. So we just basically took that part out. That part is just there. So this is the part we want to keep in focus. We want to keep this part in focus with our feet because it's on the foot level.
Yeah.
The thing we want to blur out is this background now. So what we're going to do is actually I'm just make a copy of the full background because the full background we have back there, it's just the whole background. It's even this bottom piece. So we just literally have that on top of. We have the lower level.
Right.
Lower level street on the bottom. And this cut looks a little rough because like she's going to be in front of it. So like why spend time cutting something out that our foot's covered up?
Right.
Being accurate with. So we just want to keep this in focus. We're bringing in that background. And since it's I'm going to rasterize it real quick and I'm going to turn it to a smart object again. Since it's a smart object, and a lot of people will use like layer masks for this. I mean, you can, and if people know what layer masks are, they can use that. But I usually just cut it out, keep it a smart object. So that means like even if I don't like the level or blur that I put on it, I can put, I can come back and change it. So as you can see now, like I blurred the back, and that's a little bit too much. I just want a base level blur on it, which is probably going to be like 3. So I might just do 2.5. Because we want it a little bit blurry, but we also want to blur even more up top. So we're going to do that manually too. It's a little blurry down here as well. And we're going to bring back our light posts, as you can see here, that we cut out. So we're bringing those back. This is the one we cut out from before to keep that in focus when we blur our background back here. So you can see if we blur that background all the way, like this lamppost is still in focus.
Gotcha.
So we did that. Now, in order to use the blur tool, we're going to have to rasterize that or make that destructible again. And then we're going to come to the blur tool here. And then I'm going to set it at 100.
I feel like you had her do that hand gesture that way, like on purpose.
Not at all, bro.
No?
Jay just did it. Like I just told her, like in the sequence, like, all right, you're going to walk towards the camera. You're going to look right. You're going to look left. And you're going to look down at the camera. And she just did that hand thing on her own.
Yeah.
Like she just knew. She just kind of knew, which was pretty cool to me. She just kind of knew what was up.
Somebody's brand new Bronco is just going to be inside of that palm.
We're going to try to put something there. And another reason I use this is because she's blurred up top, and I want to show people how to like add things to like parts of the of a model or the body that are blurred. You can add blurred objects too. So cool. So we blurred the top of that up a little bit too. And you can see she has a little noise on her, which is those little dots and stuff from the camera.
Yeah.
We're going to add that at the end, but just to show you what that looks like. Usually what I'll do at the end is I'll collapse everything, but I just want to show people just real quick, just so they know what I'm talking about. I usually collapse everything to a smart object. So I make all those things we made in the layers into one object.
Okay.
If it'll come on. Oh, I have Luminar on one of the other ones. Every time you try to adjust something in a smart object, it'll go through and recalculate everything. So I want to recalculate Luminar again. So let's do that. Cool. And then I'll go to my filter, and then I'll add noise over everything. So it makes it all look like it's all part of the same thing. So now everything has those little dots. So that's one of the tricks I use.
Oh, okay.
Little tool to trade.
I see what you're saying.
So we got that situated together up there. And what we'll do for Jade is we'll turn her to destructible layer, and then we'll blur out her edges. Sometimes I'll make another copy, and then I'll put them behind them and blur the whole copy. I'm not gonna do that today. That's gonna take forever, and she's not that blurred. So we may do that on another one because, like, for people who don't know what the content I'm talking about, they're probably just like, yeah, okay, bro. Like, I have to kind of show you.
Now,
But right now,
I feel like, yeah, like a lot of people clicking on us. Yes, they probably, you know, are interested in the model being edited, but also, I mean, we do have in the title, you know, like Giantess Edit, Photoshop tutorial, and all that. There's gonna be some people I feel that are, you know, really interested in like the real process of it too, and I've seen that there's some people who also do edits that, you know, they're definitely learning a thing or two by watching you step by step, big time.
You're gonna learn something from anybody. Like, I watch other people, and there's not like a lot of Giantess editors out there doing stuff. So I go to Photoshop and I'll see just other people just doing vanilla, you know, photo edits and stuff, and I watch them because you learn something from anybody at any stage that you're at personally, you know, because not everybody uses Photoshop the same way. That's one thing that I've learned throughout my whole process and journey with all this is not everybody uses Photoshop the same way.
I've never even seen anybody use Photoshop at all. I mean, I know people use it, but like I've never actually like seen the app be used. So this is like that. Well, that was my first time seeing Photoshop actually being used, and I mean, you could see that all of the new, more generic photo editing apps are definitely based off of what Photoshop pretty much created.
Oh yeah, because I think Photoshop, because when it boots up, it tells you like when it was made. I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering right, Photoshop was made the same year I was born, so it's been around that long. I'm 35. So
wow. So you said it was around since when? Sorry, I got slightly
87. That's the year I was born. Yeah, bro. Like when you boot it up, it shows you like the date, the copyright date from when it was made, and I'm pretty sure it's 87.
Sheesh. Hey, look at this. We have somebody who would like to join the chat for a few. Mr. Jack the Spec.
Oh, that's my dude right there.
Let's add him to the chat. Jack, can you hear us? Jack, are you there?
I hear something in the back.
Yeah, I hear something too. Jack, do we have you here?
It is I. It is I.
Hey.
What's up, Jack? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just I was going through your story and I saw that link and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I have some time.
There it is.
Well, yeah, man. Thanks for hopping on, man. We're going through this Giantess edit right now, as you can see, and yeah, man. I thought it would be cool to invite a few people in my close friends list on the POF Pod. If you're not on the close friends list, don't take it personal. This was a specific. for this episode specifically. So I thought it would be dope to have Jack come through because Jack is going to be on the podcast actually next month sometime, I believe.
That's what's up.
Surprise, y'all. Surprise.
Yeah. And I know you do a lot of this kind of work as well. And so like tell me what you think about what you're looking at right now and everything. Like, you may not be looking at it because you're on the podcast now, but as far as all the edits that you see from NikeMD, I'm sure that you look at it and you relate to a lot of it, the edits, and you probably also learn a thing or two as well, or kind of feed off of each other. I would imagine.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Because I know this man has been in the game for like ever. So
in a minute.
Because like seeing his edits, it inspired me. And I know Nike's been around. Like I know, like, did you guys talk about how collages started like way back when on like Giantess City? Because that's the era I grew up on these edits with. So
yeah, we did. I think the first podcast we did, I talked about that. But yeah, a lot of us have been around for a while. That's where we came through.
Yeah, for sure. So I remember that era of like where the editing game really started. And
Mhm.
seeing Nike, like I remember Nike was you put up a YouTube video in like 2008, early 2000s, probably
Oh wow,
um
yeah, bro, I forgot
2010.
about that.
Yeah, there's a YouTube video about you showing how to like get rid of the background doing masks and getting a model to look like they're bigger than what they are. And I just remembered that and I'm like, all right, I need to find a way to get Photoshop for myself. And yeah, like I've been like closely following you ever since and then eventually following you. I'm also at the airport, so don't mind that. But yeah,
Like,
dude, I've been following your stuff for a very long time, so it's always been cool to see your stuff develop. So
I appreciate
it's
that, man.
insanely dope.
I appreciate that. It always means a lot coming from like people who do edits, but then like also like people put the time in because you can see you put the time into your stuff, man. Like I always like seeing the stuff you come out, particularly like the video edits you've been doing recently.
Thank you, man. That means a lot. Yeah, I don't want to divulge too much since I'm going to be on a pod, but yeah, that journey into
Yeah,
doing that was it was crazy. All I can say is when people been asking me how did you get into it, and then I usually just say, hey, sometimes you just mess around in a program or a
oh yeah,
camera or just doing the thing, and then once you're doing the thing, you'll be surprised of what comes out of you creatively. It's really cool.
oh definitely, definitely. That's facts right there.
hey, Jack, where you going?
I'm actually not going anywhere. I'm about to leave work in about an hour and a half. I'm just waiting for this flight to depart so I can tell my crew to go home. So we're just chilling. The flight's already loaded. We're just waiting for the actual flight to come in so we get these bags up and loaded. So I'm just chilling right now. So I said I have time to kill. I saw the link and I'm like, you know what?
Well,
Till
there
it's
it
time for
is.
me to actually clock out. Let me let me go ahead, get paid, and go to my other job and engage in that for a little bit. So yeah, that's what's
I
going
like
on right
that.
now.
Good looking out, brother, man. I appreciate it. Don't tell me you're on the shitter right now. Did you go to the bathroom to hop on the podcast?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I just told my boys. I told my boys to just chill. I'm gonna go upstairs get some fresh air. So I'm just
There you
chilling.
go. There it is. There it is.
Man,
That's
well,
how it's done right there.
Yes, sir. Got to be hustling while you're hustling.
Oh,
no,
100%.
that's very true, man. You got to be hustling while you're hustling, and you got to, eventually make this the thing that you're doing full time, man.
Yes, sir. That is the goal. Like I feel like that this has become a very, good avenue for a lot of creators on both sides for the models and editors to like find a space where they can, look and share their work and, profit from
Mhm.
it. Because like a year and a half ago, because I started in April of last year. If someone would have told me that I would have been video editing and then also, having a Patreon up for people to like join and like my work and commission me for customs and all that, I would have called you crazy. Um, so the fact that this is an avenue for profit in general is cool, and like getting to go around and shoot with these awesome models and getting to know them outside of just the fetish community, but as people has been bomb too. So like
Mhm.
they become your friends, and you guys have similar interests. Like, for example, like when I shot with Paul, like me and her like vibed on EDM the entire time, and it was like shooting with a friend that I've known for a couple of years. So it's really cool. So
That's what it's
um, it,
about, man.
it's a weird blend. It's a very cool thing, and I just didn't think this would be where it is now, how big it is now. It's crazy how much of it's evolved over time.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, keep up the good work, bro. And man, we'll definitely dive into it a lot more when you're on the podcast, and we'll have some fun and talk about the whole experience as well, because it truly is interesting for sure.
Definitely, definitely. I'll let you guys get back to it. Glad to make my first unofficial appearance on the pod.
There you
But
go.
yeah, but
That was the
you
goal,
got
man. That was the goal right there.
yes, sir, yes, sir. Like I said, when you know came to me about it a couple of days ago, I said I would be honored, and you know I'm glad it's happening. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be pretty awesome, and it's on my birthday month, so that's a pretty cool
Hey,
present that you're getting. So
All right, man. How old are you about to be?
gonna be the good old 29.
Oh man, you got one more year.
One more
yeah,
year into the
bro.
big 30.
He's gonna join the 30 club.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you know, a lot of people are like 30 is not good, but hey, that's the prime of your life if you're asking me.
Hey, listen,
Bruh,
just tell everybody you're 21 with 8 years of experience. Boom.
I love that. I'm gonna
I love
adopt
that
that.
too.
That's awesome.
I'm stealing that one, bro. I'm putting that in the knapsack, throwing that over my shoulder, man. As I move through life, I like that.
Yes, sir. Well, shoot, man. Right on, Jack, for joining me. We'll definitely get into it all and make it happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, guys. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my shift so I can go home. Give me a Wendy's Frosty.
Oh, there we
Ooh,
go. We out here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
My
sir.
language now.
And it is my Friday, so I am ready to just chill and edit
Hey,
when I get home.
hey, man, dip
Right.
a French fry in that Frosty for me, man. I've been on this diet, so man, I'll just be thinking about that. Pause.
Yeah, definitely. When I get those small fries to go with my Frosty, that's gonna be for you, goods. I got you, man.
Hey, my
All right,
God.
homies. You guys have a good one, and rock on.
You too,
Right
bro.
on, brother. All righty. That was cool right there.
Because he's one of the dudes in the community that like adds to it. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
you don't always get people who are part of the community that add to it like in a major way. And I just don't mean by like art. I mean just by like vibe. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, and also shows love to the other creators. The other creators.
Mhm.
That's a big one right there for me. Is when you have people that are in the same space in some kind of form or fashion, and they show love to the other creators. That's huge right there, because it never has to be a competition, and it doesn't have to be, because everybody could just work together and just make magic at the end of the day if you got the right mindset.
Plus, I think a lot of people also, particularly like because he was talking about his Patreon. Like I think people, other creators and stuff, who have Patreons or similar stuff, like sometimes they don't give people props and stuff like that or other stuff, and it's just like 9 times out of 10, people aren't supporting just one Patreon, or like their cap isn't, I'm gonna just support this one thing, and
Right.
then I'm only doing this one thing at a time. Most of them are like under $20 or under like $15 to $10, a lot of them. So it's just like, yeah, I'll support like a few different things at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's very true right there. Absolutely. Because yeah, if you're on the platform already, there's other creators that you might be interested. Maybe not exactly Giantess art, but there might be like a podcast that you love and appreciate and you want to subscribe to. But by the way, I might as well plug myself while I'm talking about that. There's a members section now for the POF Pod on the Daddy Goods channel that you could join.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, man. So if you wanted to show the podcast love, you can join for $5.99 a month, and yeah, man, it all goes towards making the podcast even better, And if you wanted to really show love, there's a $20 option and a $25 option where I'll be doing members only live chats. You'll be able to have your comments highlighted, all those good things. So that's all an option now. It should show on the channel as an option to join. If not, I'll go ahead and post the link. Actually, the link has already been posted in the community section of the channel, but I do got the link on the Twitter and also on the IG as well in the stories. So, consider joining if you love and appreciate the channel.
And you said it's on Patreon?
It's not on Patreon, but it's a member section on YouTube, so you can actually join directly.
Oh, dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and see, like I might do something for Patreon at some point, but I'm just trying to figure out how I'll go about it for the most part, because people are able to tune into these episodes on YouTube and on Spotify and all those things. So, you know, it's almost like another form of content that I got to come through with to make it make sense, because I would want it to make sense for the people, you know.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that, bro. Definitely get that.
You know, so I tell you what, Nike, give me a second. I gotta take a piss like a Russian racehorse. I'll be right back. walk everybody through what you got going on. How about that?
Yeah, so right now we're using Pixel Squid. If you don't know what Pixel Squid is, I used it on the first episode we did, the first one we did, which is a good website, and you get a Photoshop plugin to get like 3D renders of like already 3D, you know, renders of all types of different objects. They have some people, the people aren't as detailed, so you might want to use them just sporadically. But I use it for, you know, object placement. I'm going to mask out part of this car to make it look like she's crushing it. I'm just kind of picking which foot to go with now and kind of roll with. But you know, I've been using this for years. It's one of the cool programs that I use in terms of photo editing, because it comes with shadows. You can turn it on and off. You can do it high resolution, and I'm talking it up while I kind of decide where I'm placing this at and roll. And a lot of like car crush now that I do is a lot of this. It's placing a car in a position where it may be, or where it looks good, like it's coming up in the back, and then I'll mask out the rest of it and kind of play around with it to make it look like it's being crushed. So we're going to move into that now. I'm taking my brush, put my layer mask on, and we got to choose the opposite color for that layer mask. Then we're just going to kind of mask it out here. We're going to find the happy medium. I'm thinking is we might use it at the arch, and a lot of this is just trial and error. It's like, what part of the foot am I going to kind of use to kind of cut it off and then do the other effects with it. All right. Cool. I think this color might not all the way be black. Okay, cool. So you need a deep black to mask everything out. Cool. I started getting a little bit of ghosting. All right, now we're just kind of playing with it to kind of see. Because even if it was getting crushed, like the crush part would be under her foot already, so you wouldn't really be able to see that so much. So we're probably going to add a little bit of distortion as well to kind of make it look like that too. But I think I like what I'm seeing, so we're going to keep rolling with this. Bring back this part of the car.
Bye-bye to that red Mazda.
And roll. Just kind of walking everybody through the masking process here.
It's a wrap for the Mazda.
It's gone, bro. It's more than a rap, man. It's almost like it never existed.
Wow.
I'm kind of mad at Jack now, man, because now I want a Wendy's Frosty, bro. Like I'm not even kind of mad. Like I am hot. Like he got me on that, bro. Like and me too. Like I'm trying to keep my diet in check, man. I get all the food and stuff I need, but now that's all I'm thinking about now.
Trust me, man. Like there's nobody who feels you more than I do, man. I haven't had some fast food in months, man. I'm telling you, man. Since literally since April, I haven't had anything.
Oh, that's what's up, bro.
No, it's not, bro. Like you know how much I want also a Wendy's Frosty and French fries right now.
It's what's up in terms of like the dedication.
I said a Baconator, and you know I don't even eat bacon anymore either.
I haven't had a Baconator in years though.
But you dip it. You got dip in a
long minute. No, I don't know if I like that. I'm gonna just be real on that. I don't think that'd be the move for me.
He said that's not the move. Now I'm on the same hype though, man. Like when he said French fries and Frosty, I mean like that's the jam right there, man. I dip the French fries and Frosty.
I don't do that, but like I can get down with just a regular Frosty.
Bro, oh man, you know what? I lied a little bit. I actually occasionally, because they use pure beef now, supposedly get a double from McDonald's, and I just take off the bun, and I just eat Yeah,
There
yeah,
you go. I see you.
yeah. I get a fork and a knife, and I eat just the meat and the cheese and all that. Yeah, it's pretty good, man. Pretty good. So, but
I was dating a
that's
chick one time who used to do that. When we go to Subway or whatever, she would take the bun off. Or like when we would go, Mickey D's or something, like she'd take the bun off. Like that was her jam, man. She was trying to,
yeah,
get loose on the carbs.
yeah, bro. Yeah, man. So I, yeah, I can't touch that stuff, man. No time soon, anyway. And this is the most disciplined I've been in like over 10 years for sure when it comes to dieting.
Oh, that's definitely what's up then, man. And yeah, you on a mission.
I am on a mission, man. I'm on a mission for sure. I gotta be the buff podcaster. That's kind of my goal right now.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So, it all has to do with, it's not like a ego thing of any sort. It's more so maybe a little bit, because everybody wants to like.
Oh yeah, there's always a little bit of that in what people do, whether they want to admit it or not.
Right. Like we all want to like kind of, look how we want to look. But I mean, like,
exactly.
It's it doesn't have to be like in an insecure kind of way, or like you're not happy with yourself type of thing.
You want to look good. Like if you got the choice to look good, why not look good? Why not feel good too? Because that's the biggest thing for me is health wise nowadays. Coming from like my old profession, like I think I talked about it on the pod, guys. The pod was like being a personal trainer, and then moving up to the ranks in like health and wellness, and like teaching classes and things like that. It's like, yeah, when I was younger, my 20s and stuff, it was all about the looks. It's still about the looks now, but it's also just about feeling good as I age. Like I'm not trying to be like, some people in my family, some older people that I know were like, you're just not, you're like 40 and you just don't feel good. It's like, what? Or you're in your 30s and like you're not flexible and you can barely, you can't run a mile or whatever. I'm just like, no, that's not going to be me.
Dude, I took my work ethic for like granted. Not granted, actually. That was totally the wrong thing that I just said. I took my work ethic. What am I trying to say? Basically, I used to be able to lose weight really fast. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
And because I would go ham, I would go real ham, and then I'd get my desired weight. But then I realized earlier this year, like around January, because I was pretty overweight. And shout out to all the overweight people, man. If you're happy like that, that's good. But for me, like I was overweight, my blood pressure was high, all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, I got to do something now. And I started working out, but then I realized, being that I'm 34 now, I was like, I can't lose weight quick anymore. I was like, it must be because I'm the age I am now, and I don't even think about my age, bro, because I feel like a young person still. You know what I mean? Like I'm very much on that hype. Like you only age when you allow yourself to. You know what I mean? Like once you stop having fun, that's when you really actually get old and start aging. Once you stop having fun, but I always have fun. So, but anyways, man, like I noticed, like, oh, dude, I can't drop the weight like I once used to. So, yeah, man, that's why I'm like so like intense on the discipline and the diet now, because I'm just like, dude, like this is real shit. Like I gotta be around for I got a family, all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like I can't have a heart attack next year.
I mean, like heart attack, diabetes, like all these things that will take years off your life, or just make your life more just harder. Like people don't understand. Like once you get something like diabetes, man, like your expenses go up because you got to buy all the stuff for it. Certain things you can eat, certain things you can't eat. All this different stuff. It's just like, that just affects your life now because you have a chronic illness because of something you could control, like your diet, like with diabetes or something like that, and your exercise.
Exactly, man. Exactly. And you're right, man. Diabetes is a huge one, like a huge one, man. Like, and it does run in a lot of people's families too, and you don't even realize it, but anybody can get it. Anybody can get it, because the foods that we eat, man, like it's so much of the stuff that our body can't handle too much of. So you're absolutely right, man. And those things, they will take you out eventually, or your eyes will stop working, or you won't be able to beat no more. Something, something will go wrong when your body can't digest the food like it once used to. So, man, it's real stuff, man, that you really don't think about probably until you're in your 30s.
Yep. Well, you don't think about it because, like, you don't. I think the thing for me is, like, I didn't start feeling different until I got to my 30s, and then I'm just like, when you start, particularly when I wasn't working out as much as I normally did, like during the pandemic, and like I could feel the difference in, like, oh, like I'm about to run up these stairs and this is hard now. Like, and I don't have the same bounce I used to have. I'm like, yeah, no, we got to do something about this. This ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. We got to do something about this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. See, that's another dope thing about the Creators Pod, everybody, is that, I may not talk about all this stuff on the typical regularly scheduled program, because usually it's all about the guests and all that stuff. But man, this is all real stuff that me and NikeMD are talking about right here, man. Health and wellness, man. Look at them getting some Giantess Edits. They're getting automobile and health and wellness, man. It's like
you got a one-stop shop going on here, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. It's all real important stuff, man, at the end of the day. So, take it with a grain of salt or not, because diabetes is real, and, do what you got to do. Well, I guess it would be a grain of sugar, actually, because sugar is what really.
You got to have like one of those drum things for that.
I think I got that, actually. There you go.
There it is.
I need to upload more sound effects, actually, like, because I'm getting real played out on these sound effects. Here, let's go through them. All right, so I got the explosion. You got to have the explosion, right? The one that I don't got that I really want, though, which is probably just a click away, but I just haven't took the time to do it, is like a gunshot or something like that, along the lines of that.
I like that. You got the like that club horn or whatever.
I know what you're talking about. I don't got it on here, though. I don't. Yeah, I feel like I should, though. They on the Roadcaster, it only gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 buttons, and you can upload like pages of sounds. But the only problem is you have to go to the page to play the sound. So it's like my main ones I'll have on the first page, because that's the sound effect I want to play at the moment that I feel like it suits.
Got you.
Yeah. So like my main ones will be on the main page, but other than that, see, that's the reason why I don't got some of those just right on hand, is because I'm like, how often will I use that one? Probably not that often. Like the horn, and maybe like in the beginning of a episode, maybe I guess I could do that, but I feel like that's doper for like the beginning of an episode. And then what else do I got? See this next one I'm gonna play. I really don't use this that often, because we really actually be laughing on a podcast, so I don't really play the laugh track, but I do got it.
What you should do is play that when something's not funny.
All right. You're right, bro. You're right. That would be funny to play when it's not funny. That's what made sitcoms back in the day so is that they had laugh tracks, and you would think that they're actually doing the show in front of an audience. I used to think that, anyways.
Oh, when I was a kid, I definitely used to think that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'd be like, wow, they're really doing this show in front of an audience. Like that's pretty cool. And then you realize later on in life that it was all laugh track, and then you like try to imagine the show without the laugh track, and you're like, damn, like that's it, like nothing they're saying is really that funny, actually.
But that's the thing. A lot of those shows were done in front of a live audience, and but it's not like a live show. So like they do it in front of audience sees are part of it, but then when they cut it all together, like depending on how they cut it, like you may be cutting in the middle of like some laughter or something happening in the back, so they'll just do it without, they'll just add the laughs afterwards.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Well, hey, the laugh track is definitely a magical tool to use though for many situations. So that's why I do keep it around on the main page, because I feel like I never know when it's going to be needed. But it's also good too, like if you're like roasting somebody and you just want to add like an extra
That's
laugh
what I'm
in the
saying,
back,
man.
you
That's what
know.
I'm saying. I like that.
I love roasting people. So, all right. So let's see what's next. Oh, this one is very mucho needed. Got the applause, right? All right. So what's next? What do we got? Oh, see, I got the music. I gotta have the music on one, so that one's always updated, updated to whatever the theme music is of the episode. And we got that because I say a lot of not so funny jokes. I laugh at my own jokes a lot, so gotta have that. Because that's like all right, what you just said wasn't that funny, but it kind of was. It kind of was a joke. Maybe I'll just start doing it at the same time as the laugh track, like yeah, like that. It might make it a little
That is
funny.
right there, bro.
That is it, right?
I think you got it. You ain't gotta do it. I think you got it, man. You figured it out.
Thanks, bro. Thanks. So what are we doing here? It looks like we got an explosion in the background. Some smoke.
A little helicopter crash in the back, create some atmosphere.
That's dramatic.
Like she already did something to one of the choppers back there, you know. So like I was telling them when you were gone, she was Pixel Squid is good for this. Like it's very, very good for like just this type of stuff. Cause like back in the days, Giantess City days, like when Jack was talking about, you would have to source a picture for this. So I'd have to go find a picture of the helicopter with the right perspective. And have to cut it out the same way I cut out her or the lamppost, or just do a quick thing and then add it there. And hopefully the lighting and everything was on the right side or whatever. Like that's how I used to make all these back in the day.
Oh, wow. So that's pretty crazy that Jack.
Forever.
That's crazy that Jack knew something that you did a long time ago. How long ago was that?
It was a while, man. Like a lot of the people who've been around for a while, like that was the spot. Just like if think about it like this way, if there was like, I don't even know if they have these anymore, but do you remember how they used to have like the underage like clubs, like in the city, or like in high school you would go to where they wouldn't serve drinks or nothing, but like you could go dance and meet up with people. So it was basically a club without drinks. So like if you only had one of those in town, then everybody in town who wanted to do that came through that step, came through that some spot. And that's kind of like what Giantess City was. Like it was the most popular forum like of its kind back then. So like if you've been alive for a certain amount of years, like you've come through that spot at some point, Some of the younger dudes and younger people, I should say, not just guys, but some of the younger people have come in the science community. They may have come at this first from Instagram or from social media, so they never heard of it. They never came through it that way.
That's a great way to put it, though. It's like comparing it to like the clubs where you can't get no drinks or nothing like that, but you still want to go party. So Giantess City was just that, basically, because it was like really the only spot you can go to.
Yeah, it was the most. It wasn't the only one, but it was the most well known. Like that's where everybody was. Like other people are probably other spots, but like even if you're at other spots, you are also on Giantess City as well.
Gotcha.
That's where, now like some of the biggest producers were at too, who were putting out content. Like that's where you would find new stuff. It was essentially social media, but just in a forum, only in one spot, and you had to, be a member and all that and such.
What if you were approached by a Hollywood film producer and they asked if you would like to work on a movie? Would you be down?
Probably not, because like I'd be a little skeptical. It's like, like there are like actual movie people who do this, like they got way more experience than I do. So I'd be a little skeptical about what was going on with it. But if it was on the up and up, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you would just want to check the integrity of the whole situation first, basically.
Yeah, because it's just like I get it, but it's just there are people who've been doing this their whole lives, and everything is moving towards video now. So you got a lot of VXF artists who've been doing this forever. That would probably be will probably be the more likely call than somebody like me.
Hey man, but you never know, man. Somebody might need your niche of this kind of, graphic and FX that you got going on right here. You know what I mean?
No, if they did, like I said, if they called, that makes sure on up and up, and yeah, I'd definitely do it. My first question would be like, how much does it pay?
Absolutely.
Yeah, lead with that. That's one thing I learned in my 20s, not the mistake not to make again, because I would just be doing stuff thinking about the opportunity or whatever, and then when it comes to money and getting paid, then people want to be funny.
Right. I feel like for the right project though, like probably the first offer would be like, they'd probably think it's like a terrible offer. Like, let's see if we can get them to do it for 500,000 first.
Oh, it happens all the time. Just not even in every arena of life. That's why so many young people get taken advantage of, because like they'll fall into that trap and they don't know any better yet.
Mm-hmm. But like, imagine $500,000 gets offered to you though. You're like, fuck yeah.
And that's why they fall into it, because it's like, I've never made that amount of money before, never seen that amount of money in one check. Yeah, let's roll. When meanwhile, like somebody who's doing it, who may not even be as good as you, is making like a meal.
Right. And yeah, that's why you gotta go through the negotiation process, get the right lawyers. All that stuff is usual. It's like normal for productions in general. So like some people they get a little afraid of that kind of stuff because they don't want to rub people the wrong way. Listen, if you're rubbing people the wrong way by doing things legit, then those aren't the people you want to work with.
That's a good point. A lot of people don't say that, but that's a good point, man.
Yeah. So like if somebody wants to make you that kind of offer and wants to like book you full time for like a year or two or something along those lines, you'd be like, man, that's super dope. Well, I'll tell you what, get your contract together, send it. I'm going to have my team go over it. We're going to see what we want to counter with. And, hopefully we can make this work, and like, it doesn't have to be like some like weird hardball situation that makes everything awkward. It's just like normal business at the end of the day. When you're doing something for a living, like you sign contracts and stuff. When you go to a job, you want to get a promotion or whatever and all that, and you get promoted, like they sit the contract in front of you. Like it may not look like the typical ideal contract that you've seen in the movies and stuff, but they do it in like a software form or some kind of like on-screen thing, and it's just like click this next, like that's signing the contract, and then you sign it at the end or whatever with the mouse. Like, okay, let me go ahead and sign for this little $3 raise right quick, and that's just contract.
100%.
It is 100%. But people don't think about it. They don't think about it like that because they're like, all right, I'm already working at this job. This is just my job or whatever. But what about when you have expertise and somebody wants to pay for that expertise? Like, look, I get it. Like sometimes like you can do that stuff. A lot of times people do that stuff, just off GP. They're like, all right, this is the price they get paid for. And they're like, cool. There doesn't need to be any contracts involved, but sometimes it's necessary.
Oh yeah, it's just one of those things where you gotta know your worth, know how much you're worth, and not be afraid to ask for it. Because it's like you said, like if someone's not willing to give it to you, then what else aren't they willing to be straight with you on, or pay you on, or treat you the right way on, So
exactly, man. So shit, I said a bad word. Oops.
You got a jar in the crib that you gotta fill up.
No, man. I'm just trying to keep it more PG for the YouTubulars.
Got you.
Yeah, but I think one little slip here and there is. Yeah, one little slip here and there is okay though, because that's how we keep the content from not being age restricted and stuff like that.
Got you. Yeah. I still gotta figure it out myself, man. Like they still be age restricting all my trailers and stuff.
Yeah, man. I got some advice for you on that too. When we're done with the live.
I'm
Yeah.
all ears.
Yeah.
Most
because
deaf.
I figured out something that I think will definitely help when it comes to that. So I don't know if I want to.
Hey.
I think that I'm not going to share it here on the live recording because like some information just has to be paid for. You know what I mean? But I got you though. I got you. You get what I'm saying
You know
though?
what, man? I appreciate that, dog.
Oh man,
You a good dude, man.
yeah. Well, hey, I do what I can when I can, and if I can.
Hey. if I
When I
can.
can, when I
Sorry.
can, if I can. That's a good one, huh?
Yeah, I like that. Oh, I don't know
Yeah.
if I like this setup though. No, we're rolling with this.
Well, with the white truck,
Yeah.
what is it that you don't like about it? Let us into the mind of NikeMD.
I just don't like the way it's looking like she crushed it. It's looking a little off. Like that car, I get, but this I don't know if I get. And this is one of the things I'm actually glad I came to this because, like, I think some people think when you're making a photo, like, you know exactly what you're going to do, exactly what's going to work, and you just place it. But a lot of the times it's exactly this. It's, oh, I tried some stuff. I don't know if it works. Now I got to try something completely different.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I guess if she was crushing it with her toe, you'd probably see it coming out on the other end some way, right?
A little bit. You might see a little bit under there. I just don't like what this looks like. I'm gonna play around with it a little bit and see if I can find something here. Because other times too, I think people think when I'm explaining stuff, it may seem like I understand all the concepts for why something looks right or why something doesn't look right.
Yeah.
A lot of it is me just trying it, and a lot of the things that I've learned about some stuff, like when I was explaining about the perspectives of the buildings up top, and all that type of stuff, the stuff I just learned through trial and error. So that's how I know. That's why I know it looks, feel or looks a certain way. No, I
Right.
definitely don't like this. I'm not going to use this at all. I'm not liking it. I ain't got answers for this one this way. Oh, I ain't doing that.
Man, I don't know, man. That's that looks like a Tundra or something, man. Like, aren't those supposed to have enough power to like kind of like haul something as big as this Giantess? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's what the commercials will want you to believe. That's what the commercials want you to believe.
That Tundra should be able to pull her. Trying to
that's what
play
they want you
games
to
with
believe. The main thing
I
I'm
had
trying to do here too is cover up the rest of this fence and the cars and stuff back there. So I'm probably gonna get an open door or something. I might have somebody like running out of their car or something. That's probably what I'm gonna do.
Okay. I love the way it's coming out though, man. It's looking great. I just noticed. Does she have a French tip, or is it like different colors every nail?
So what happened was her nails chipped, I think the night before. So she had to redo a couple of them. So she had a French tip, but then she just changed the ones like in the middle on both feet because they chipped up a little bit and she wanted it to be symmetrical. Stuff like that happens all the time. I remember I ain't gonna put nobody else out, but I remember like a couple one model was coming through. Like she was getting a ride and she had to do like her nails on the way to the shoot in the car. And I was just like, yo, next time it's not that serious. We'll just do bare nails. Like you ain't gotta go through all that. We'll just do bare nails and call it a day. But yeah, she was just like super anal about like wanting to make sure she had a color on. And I'm gonna just say it looked like she did them in the car. Like I'm gonna say like that. That's why I'm gonna say no. That's why I'm gonna put nobody's name in there in it.
Word. I see what you're saying. No, you know what? That's one of those things too, where I think for some of the models, even like they may not know. Like if they're newer, they may not know. Like, hey man, some of the people that are into this, they really don't mind if it's natural petty sometimes.
Mm-hmm. It's actually something that people prefer. A lot of people prefer. So, like, I do it. It's rarer on my page. I got people on my page that prefer it, so like I don't do it as much. But when I do it, there's always somebody who's glad that I did it, because they there's not a lot of it out there.
We got to get NikeMD to start doing petties too, man. No, I'm kidding.
Don't nobody want me to do their pedicure, man. They will be hot. they will be hot. Like, they'll either be hot or they'll be like, yeah, I mean, that looks all right. Like that kind of like not trying to hurt somebody's feelings, like type of way that people do it sometimes. So like, yeah, no, nobody wants that.
They'll be like, this is a disrespectful petty.
Or it'll be one of those situations where it'll be like, did I do something wrong? Did do you not like me or something? Like, it'll be one of those, and I'll feel super bad. So no.
I've done one for Mama Goods before.
How was it?
It's terrible.
I like how you just came right out of it. It was terrible. No, yeah, it was good.
It's terrible, man. I'm pretty sure she went and got it done professionally, like immediately after, actually.
What did she say in the moment? Because like it's different. Like if you're dating somebody, y'all been dating for like a month or so, and they do it, and you're still like feeling each other out. But like, what did she say? Like, as your wife, like, what was her first response?
Well, I want to say, like, I don't even know why we did it, to be honest, because it's not like something that that I would offer. Like, it might have been like something we were doing just as a joke anyways, and I might have done like a few of them, and she was probably just like enjoying the fact that I was doing it, knowing that she was going to get it done professionally like right afterwards. But I'm pretty sure it was like more of a laughing situation. Like, she probably just enjoyed me touching her toes more than anything. I feel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look, dude, before all of this that I'm into now, that you know me for, bro, like I never even realized that I was into it before, but I think I've always actually secretly have been, but secretly to myself as well. Like, I didn't know either, but I tell you what though, man, I've always loved women in high heels though. Like, before Mama Goods, everything, like, it was just, and it's still like the sexiest thing to me. Like, high heels, like a woman can like come through in a dress or something with some flats on or whatever. I'm like, that's what's up, cool, whatever. Like, I don't, but if she comes in some high heels, I'm like, oh, that's raw, you know. So like, when Mama Goods comes through in some heels, I'm like, yeah, you know, that's sexy. I like that. Like, there's just something about the high heels. Like, it's the feet for sure. It's just everything about the woman in high heels. It's like she's on like a platform, like being held up, being held up to I don't know, like, it just looks great to me. But anyways, but her feet always smelled though. They've always smelled. And yeah, dude, they've always smelled, and I never understood why I would get rocky. I never understood. Like, it never dawned on me like that it's something that works. Now that I've been, you know, I've been sucked into the dark side. Now I get it. Now I get it. It's NikeMD's fault, everybody.
That's funny though. That's real funny.
Yeah. So, you know, that's what it is for me, man. But it would be cool, you know, being like what I do and who I am with the podcast. It would be cool to be able to have like a better story, like our guy Elite Feet Street from the UK. Bro was like in elementary smelling his teacher's feet and stuff like that.
Yeah, I listened to part. I didn't finish listening to the whole thing, but yeah, I remember him talking about that.
Yeah. That was like part of the his journey in like realizing like, his origin story. Yeah, like he has a real origin story. Like he's been down with the get down for a long ass time. Oh, by the way, Chris, right on for letting everybody know the next podcast, but Pammy actually had to reschedule. So tomorrow's podcast is not happening with Pammy. I might have somebody step in for that podcast tomorrow. But if not, then for sure on Wednesday at 4:30 is going to be me and Mama Goods. In fact, we're going to be celebrating our anniversary on Wednesday, so it's kind of like an anniversary pod as well.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, going on 8 years of marriage.
Oh wow, congrats, man. Yeah, that's major, bro.
Don't you fucking congratulate me for that. No, I'm kidding.
Give a congratulations to yourself.
All right, so what we got going on here in the edit?
So I'm still find something to kind of cover that part up, and I'll be honest, I have my man's over here. I'm gonna go. Yeah, he sees pieces going on. He came out the store and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is not for me." Like, this came out the fresh berry supermarket and was like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm out. Like, I'm gone." He ain't got no bags in his hand, so whatever he went in there for, they didn't have it. So like, he was hot about that. And then now he sees all this going on. He's like, "Yeah, nah, man, we out of here. We out of 5,000."
It would have been a good moment to do a little bit of looting if you saw a giant just like doing her thing out there. Like, hey man, these bananas are on the store today.
But like, I feel like you have to be so about that life, that looting life, to have the wherewithal that that's the first thing you're thinking about. Like, most people would be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, most people would be like, "Yo, what the fuck is happening? Like, what is this?" And then to be the one person, male or female, to be the one person to be like, "Oh, it's time to hit up the Best Buy, man. Get me some iPhones." Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's a certain type of person. Like, you gotta you've been about this life for years, like years on years. That's the first place you go to.
Bro, that is so funny. I swear, everybody, I am not a thief, and I don't know why I even said that. Like, bro, I haven't stole something probably since I was like a kid. Okay.
You have to think about how you would think about it in the moment. Like, I feel like if you were in this actual moment, not looking at someone making a picture that you obviously know is fake, like when you're doing it, particularly how long you've been looking at it for so far, you're like, okay, like I could make some cracks. But like, if you're actually in the moment, a real like 200-foot woman just puts her foot down in front of the grocery store and everybody's walking out, and like your first thought as a human is to go back in the grocery store and like get a come up. Like, you're a certain type of person, you know, like, not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying only a certain type of person thinks that way. That's the first thing they think about in the moment. Like, some people that might be the second or third thing outside of their safety, but like you're thinking about looting with reckless abandon, meaning you're not even thinking about your own safety at that point. Like, you're reckless with it. Like, she could step on that grocery store next. Like, why aren't you trying to get away? Nah, I gotta go get these grapes because they're free now. Like, you know.
No, you make a very, very valid point, and I'm just thinking, like, man, that would be mad funny, man. You like you see this life-threatening situation, and you're like, you know what, those steaks were a little pricey, you know.
Exactly. You know, like, I'm gonna stick it to the man on this one. Like, nah, man, he ain't getting out of me these steaks today. Like, we getting this. Like, finna have his grocery store stepped on, and I'm stealing these steaks.
Right. You know what? Those 60-inch screens in Best Buy are getting a little pricey. Yep. Black Friday ain't for another 3 months.
Mm-hmm. And that's in that situation, like, it's one of those things where like you can just roll up through the front door with your whip. Like, you can just crash through the front with the whip and just start scooping stuff up. Because that's how preoccupied people will be with running. Like, the employees don't care no more. Employees are thinking about their life. They're not thinking about, let me stop this dude from looting the Best Buy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And you know, man, it might be the younger generation though that would have that mindset a little bit, you know, with all the Fortnite games and all the new Call of Duties, all the looting that goes on in those games. Like, it would be the younger generation that came up on those games, because like the games we came up on, it wasn't about looting at all. Like, we were playing like Metal Gear Solid and, you know, like the very first.
You just forgetting, you just letting Grand Theft Auto slip on that one.
I was literally just gonna say Grand Theft Auto, literally, like the first one, that one, like the one that you were like from up above playing the game, you know, not like point of view.
Wow, yeah. I didn't play that one until later. I didn't play that one until after 3.
Bro, I came up on that one, and you know, and then
wow, didn't even know Grand Theft Auto was a thing until 3 came out, and I think the first place I even heard about it was freaking PlayStation Magazine.
Yeah, bro. Like that game was fire. Like even the one that wasn't point of view, that game was fire too. You would go on missions and everything just like that. But they definitely changed the game when they came out with the first person point of view screen. Like that was a game changer right there, bro. But
You
I
were
haven't.
like an OG.
Come on, bro. Don't call me that, bro. Oh no.
You were like a Grand Theft Auto OG, man. Triple OG, OG, loco, OG.
Ah, bro, you just aging big time. Yes, I kind of am though, but I haven't played any of the Grand Theft Autos in at least like 7-8 years at this point. Like it's been a long time, and then the new GTA, like bro, like when that comes out, I'm definitely getting on that. When the new GTA comes out, 100%.
I'm about to put everybody on this podcast. If you still here, if you listen to this, I'm about to put you on the easiest stock tip you'll ever get in your life. Buy Take-Two Interactive right now because they're working on GTA 6. And anytime a GTA comes out, that spikes. And then now they're doing GTA Online where they make a ton of money after the fact, and they've already done it. Wall Street already knows they're going to make a ton of money off the newest one. Their stock price is going to skyrocket. So if you got the dough and you don't have to worry about it, and you can leave it in there. I have an automatic buy a Take-Two Interactive every week that comes out of my Cash App, man. Just auto, so I don't have to even think about it.
What is it again? And like, what is it called? I'm gonna write it down.
It's Take-Two Interactive. They're the publishing company that owns Rockstar Studios that distributes Rockstar Studios games. Rockstar makes the GTA games.
Take-Two Interactive.
Mm-hmm.
So TAKE2 Interactive.
Yeah, Take-Two,
okay.
And they spell out the two as well, so it's TWO.
Okay, so and what is the ticker symbol? Do you remember it? Is it like TT?
It's TT2. So it's T2. So because it's TTWO.
Okay, I'm about to look into that. Man, look at that, everybody. You're getting edits, model reveals, health and wellness, and some investing advice by NikeMD. Man,
just hold on to that because I made decent dough on that in college when they released Grand Theft Auto 4, the one with Nico. I think that was the one that was out, and like I made a decent amount of money on that in college. And then since then, I've been riding that wave. I rode the wave when 5 came out, but no one realized like how big GTA Online was going to be. So then, like I cashed out before that, and I would have made even more money when the stock started spiking, when Wall Street started seeing like how profitable that was.
This man NikeMD made his riches off GTA.
I got a couple coins, man. I ain't got no riches, so I got a couple dollars.
No more commission for work. He's doing it for free now, folks.
Like Hogue said, I got a couple dollars. I can fight the case. That's all I can do.
Hey, listen. When GTA, what's the next one? 6? That's the next one coming out.
6 is the next one.
All right. When GTA 6 comes out, everybody, you know where to go for a handout because NikeMD's got you.
No, I ain't got no handouts. I got info. I got no handouts. Like let's put an end to that right now. Like, let's snip that in the butt right the damn now.
I feel you, man. You gotta do some work. You gotta do some work for the money, right? You gotta ask for a job or something.
Oh yeah, man. You gotta put some time in, man.
Hey, listen, the Mega Lotto right now is like 700 million. What would NikeMD? All right, I gotta ask that again. What would NikeMD do if he were to have won 700 million with the Mega Lotto?
I'd be doing exactly what I'm doing right now on a private island. Like, I'd be doing exactly what I'd be doing. You know what I'd be doing? I'd be doing exactly what I'm doing now, and I'd be taking those Klay Thompson vacations. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Klay Thompson, but what this dude does religiously every offseason is he'll just rent out a mansion or something on some island somewhere, take a whole bunch of freaking models or whatever, and just and his boys and whatever, and people he's close with, and they just kick it, man. They just kick it.
That sounds fun.
Good time, man. You know, like,
that
and it
sounds.
don't even need to be no models or nothing. Just you and your peoples, man. Just like, hey, we going out, we shutting down this island or whatever, this tropical location. We getting us a mansion and we just doing us for like 2 months.
Hey, listen, man, I'm not partying with the fellas for a month on a mansion at an island, bro. There's gotta be the opposite. That sounds like a show that get me in trouble with Mama Goods. Mama Goods would be like, I'm going. I'm be like, hold on.
Yeah.
The fellas trip. She's like, why are there all those girls there? That's a good question. It wasn't my idea. It wasn't me. Yeah.
No, not even that. It's just like, you know what? I'll investigate it. And when I come back, I'll let you know why those women are there. See ya.
Yeah, I'm going to interview them all, and then I'll figure this out for you.
You know, take one mic too. Like, you see, I got the microphone. We good. And then bounce.
Mama Goods, whoop my ass probably. She ain't. I don't think she's on. So I think I'm in the clear until somebody like records this conversation, screen records it, and like tries to. Like, dude, there's nothing I could do at this point about like shit that I say on this podcast. Like, I get it. Like, there's some people that are not fond of my words sometimes, and hey, what can I say? Like, man, like
it's the whole Joe Rogan thing, like we were talking about last time. It's like when you record an X amount of hours or something, you're gonna say something that someone's not gonna like. Doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna do something at some point for sure, and it is what it is, though. It is what it is. I know my intentions are always good, so that's all you
can really do.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man, absolutely. But I also know where I'm trying to take this podcast too, and like I'm trying to definitely do some expanding.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't have to be completely FFC based, at a certain point. Like, yeah, I'm definitely always gonna go back to the roots and have that as well. But like, if I could bring in some people who aren't involved with that are able to maybe have some fun and partake a little bit, I feel like that would be fire.
Oh no, bro, that's what's up, man. It's just as many people as you can bring in, man, and everybody can have a voice, man, a place. Because like the biggest thing that I realized that I'm starting to realize too is like there's just not a lot of podcasts out there that dig super deep into this from the level you're trying to take it, which is like it's not just it's a general like sex community podcast and they spend a couple episodes on foot fetish or whatever this thing is. Like, even if you delve out, like I'm assuming you'll have multiple guests from whatever that community is, and like you dig deep with different people from that community and roll. Like, even if you go search podcasts, like it's hard to find ones that are popular, that are easy to find, I should say, that an algorithm will push up, that talk about these issues, and not even just talk about them, talk about the people who are behind them and what they did and how they went to get there. Because a lot of information is just not out there. Like a lot of information, a lot of podcasts aren't interviewing people who make, collages, aren't interviewing people like Elite Street Feed who are doing photography and stuff like that. They're just either interviewing a talent, and even when they're interviewing a talent, it's just like the most popular people out there that people might know mainstream. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, like, here's my thing. And now this is for the people that are like looking into podcasting and wanting to start a podcast. Something that I can tell you from experience from multiple different podcasts that I've done. If you're somebody who's trying to make a podcast, you got to have some kind of niche or direction with the podcast, because nobody wants to hear, and this isn't like some shade being thrown, because I've done it and I do it on another podcast. Nobody wants to hear people that they have no idea who these people are just talk, chit chat with their friends. So many people do that as a podcast.
Yeah.
What separates you and your friend from the next podcast with another set of friends? Like, if you're not already somebody who's a popping celebrity, you literally have to have some kind of direction or a reason why people will come across your podcast. And then once they do, you gotta stick with that direction and continue to make that your niche, because if that's what's working, then you gotta do it. Like if you're a podcast and you are a John Travolta fan, but you're just having a regular podcast and you talk about John Travolta and you realize that people love that, okay, boom. Now you need to talk about John Travolta some more, because now guess what? You have a John Travolta podcast now. I don't have any idea why I said John Travolta, by the way. That might be the most random thing I've ever said in my life, but you get what I'm saying though?
No, I get what you're saying. It's something I tell people a lot, vanilla wise, but then also particularly in like fetish work too. When I'm asked, it's like it's a quote that I've heard in sports, and I've heard like different sports people say it, so I don't know who to attribute to originally. It's like you got to keep the main thing the main thing. Like LeBron James does all types of things outside of being a basketball player, but none of that stuff would have been possible. None of that stuff would matter as much if he wasn't one of the greatest basketball players to ever do it. So like he's always going to be balling on the court. Same thing with Michael Jordan. Like no one would be buying Jordan sneakers 30 years after he retired from the Bulls. I'm not counting the Wizards. After the Bulls, if like he wasn't the greatest basketball player of all time, like no one would care. So like you got to keep the main thing the main thing. And when you start losing track of the main thing, the reason why people liked you in the first place, or like got onto you in the first place, or what made you or what gave you your platform in the first place, you just say, "Oh, I want to do a completely different pivot," then expect those people to not be with you anymore. Like there's nothing wrong with doing a complete pivot, but I think people will look at it and make a pivot and wonder why they're losing people. And the whole thing is, well, you're not doing what people came to know you for in the first place. That's why you're losing people.
Absolutely, man. I'll give you another good example, people out there. Drake, number one artist in the world, whether you agree or not, number one artist in the world. Has he ever done anything other than music? No, he hasn't. It's always been music. Now you take another huge artist who was like the man at the time, 50 Cent. He started doing movies. Do you know his music anymore? Nah. Now you just he's not the man of music no more, because he switched and went the other way. So now when he drops the album, people don't care. Now Drake, like if Drake were to start doing movies, I don't know if his music would be reciprocated the same. So I don't know. That's just kind of an analogy that I just thought of right now. But like no music artist who has switched to movies has ever done well in music after the movies. From my opinion, or from my analysis.
Particularly if you do it like, and you're just going, and you're just deciding like that's what you're just doing, like, and you're not doing music anymore. Because like, you know, Drake does like the fashion line and stuff, but he still keeps the main thing the main thing. It's like we were talking about with sports actors. Like Michael Jordan did a movie. LeBron James has done movies, but those are secondary to what you're doing. Like when you start making like 50 did, when you start making it in the production company and stuff he did, when you start making that your number one and then music your second, then of course it's never going to be the same. Like it's because it's your second priority. It's not your main priority anymore.
By the way, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from spreading your wings and flying or nothing like that, because you know I'm trying to do the same. I'm trying to spread my wings and fly too. I'm just saying like NikeMD is saying, is just make your main thing the main thing, and don't forget about that main thing. But you know, do what you do as well is pretty much what he's saying, and what I'm saying as well. You know, just make 100%. The main thing the main thing. That's just what it is, man. Like
the main thing, definitely.
Yeah, like if NikeMD starts doing like some kind of different editing for whatever, and he does well with it, like I'm sure you're not going to abandon the Giantess Edits.
It depends, because I want to add a little bit of nuance to it, because it's like it's this way too. Like I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this dude was talking about this, and he was saying like you can literally do anything you want. The only thing you have to tend with is the consequences. So like if you want to make a complete pivot, then make the pivot, but don't expect everything to stay the same while you're doing it. Because I made a pivot because when I was doing Fendom edits and stuff on Twitter, I was kind of doing Giantess stuff on the side, but that was before I was making money doing Giantess stuff. That was just a hobby. So the Fendom stuff was the stuff that was making me money. So like I was doing that. That was my main priority. So all the people who were following me for the Giantess stuff, like they bounced, like they stopped following me. Like I lost a lot of followers. And my thing about it was like, and what I realized and when I first started learning was like, yeah, like you can make a decision if you're all right with losing the followers, losing whatever it is, to make that pivot to build them back up, cool. Then deal with those consequences. You know, if you're someone who wants to still keep a following, keep all that stuff, then yeah, you're going to have to keep making the main thing if you want to keep all the status and everything that comes with it, or the traction you gained. And so roll with that. Because I made that transition twice. I made that transition from Fendom stuff, because my main Twitter was just basically Fendom stuff, to my main Twitter being Giantess again when I switched back to Giantess art, and I wanted to try to turn that into what I was doing. I lost a lot of the people who were following me for the Fendom stuff. My followers dipped and my likes dipped, and then it came back up. But you got to be willing to deal with that. So you can make that pivot. You can switch main things, but you also got to be willing to deal with the consequences of what happens when you do that.
That's some solid advice right there.
Man,
all right, everybody. I won't be doing my food review on this channel anymore. Thanks to NikeMD.
We need a Daddy Goes food review, man. It has to be just like strictly like the stuff that you're not eating right now too. It has to be like, man, yeah, Wendy's got them bomb fries and like Frosties right now.
This man Chris said, Daddy Goods, I'm going to timestamp the John Travolta talk. That was funny.
Please do. Please, somebody cut that out too. Like, and just have that. That needs to live somewhere other than this podcast. Him talking about John Travolta.
Yeah, why John Travolta? You know what I just thought about too? I not accidentally, but I did a reel that featured John Travolta actually not too long ago, and I had Pixie's Planet on the podcast. The British. Yeah. And she was talking about like when guys send D pics, like put a little outfit on it, make it look like John Travolta from Greece. And maybe that's why I thought about John Travolta. Actually, come to think of it, maybe
I can't think of the last time I even seen that cat.
Yeah,
someone asked me like what John Travolta looks like now. I wouldn't even be able to describe him.
Right. He said I wouldn't be able to describe him. That's funny.
Maybe he got long hair like he did in like the older movies. Maybe he got short. Maybe he's bald. I have no clue.
Man, dude, Nicolas Cage lives in Las Vegas, and I've heard some of the wildest stories about that guy in that city.
I would, you know what? That's one of the few celebrities that I would be like, that if someone put out an alert like Nicolas Cage is in this spot, like in your town, like I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna go see what the fuck Nicolas Cage is up to. You know, like just to see what's up, man. Because that dude is just so like storied and eccentric. I don't even say eccentric, but like there's so much like surrounding him in terms of just like, you know, pop culture, good and bad. Like I just want to, see what he's up to, see what he's doing. Like say I went down and shook Nicolas Cage's hand, I'll take a picture with him, you know.
Mama Goods just commented. I wonder if she just came back in or if she heard our guide trip conversation. I hope not. But she said that John Travolta's bald.
Yeah. Oh, he's bald. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Nicolas Cage for sure, man. Like you got to see what Nicolas Cage is up to. But I heard that he's married to some like a really small lady who carries a white poodle around everywhere she goes, and he just and like I guess like she'll go and play like blackjack or something at like some local casinos, and he'll just walk up and people will just be like, what the fuck is that? Nicolas Cage just and his wife is like some really nice little Asian lady who just carries around a white dog. And I'm just like, that sounds so like wholesome of Nicolas Cage to just be chilling at a local Las Vegas casino, his wife playing blackjack. And I mean, I don't know. I guess that's not that wholesome, but like to just hear like a casual story about somebody who is, a huge Hollywood actor is like pretty cool, actually. You know,
I kind of don't want it to be his wife. I just want that to just be a friend, like just like one of his hangs. Like I just want it to be like, hey, Nicolas Cage just hangs out with just random Asian women, man. You know, that's what they do. Like there's nothing malicious about it. There's no ulterior motive. It's just like that's a squad, you know, like he just rolls around with a squad of old Asian women. Like I kind of want that to be like part of his mystique. Like and he never explains it. It's like, who is this? Oh, just a friend. Well, where did you guys meet? A casino.
Yeah, I kind of want Shrooms to be involved too, though, for some reason.
And they're just like they're just walking around the strip, just tripping balls. Nicolas Cage, like a group of old Asian ladies,
all holding white.
I'm for it, bro. I'm 100% for that. 100%. Like literally 100% for that. If that's a thing, I'm in. Like I'm all in. Like if they turn that into a reality TV show, that would be a reality TV show I caught every damn week.
Could we put some kind of trademark on Nicolas Cage and 5 Asian ladies with 5 white dogs walking down the strip as a reality show right now?
I wouldn't even know where to begin to put a trademark on that. But if you find that out, man, you know what? I'll put some money on it, and we'll call it. You know, we'll put our names on it.
Got to use some of that GTA money.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what we'll use. Use some of that GTA dough.
Mama Goods, go put some money on that GTA stock.
Why you say it like you talking about blackjack right around the corner? Go put some not blackjack, but roulette. Hey, Mama Goods, go put money. Go put 50 on black real quick.
Oh no!
Like that's how it sounded.
It did. It definitely sounded like that. I agree. All right, so what we got going here? We'll put in another lady in the background here.
Yeah, probably in the foreground. We're almost done. We're just really putting people in the foreground and whatnot to make it look like, you know, there's some panic and stuff going on. But yeah, this one is going to be pretty closed up here within the next 30 minutes. I'd be surprised if it goes longer than that.
Hey, Giantess Studio said National Treasure 3 confirmed.
I would love that if that's what it was. Nicolas Cage, a group of old Asian ladies tripping on shrooms, like looking up, like trying to find like national treasures. I'm 100% on that movie. I'm camping out for the tickets. Like I'm going day one. Like I'm going to the midnight showing the day before. You know, like I'm doing that. Like I'm out there. Like this is a Star Wars movie or something.
That'd be the craziest thing if we just wrote his next movie and he's like for some reason listening to this podcast right now. That would be fucking nuts.
I'm 100% in. Like if he's in, man, I'm all about that life, bro.
Dude, that would be fucking nuts, man. That would be a dream come true right there. You know?
I think so, man. Like I'm 100% in on that. So if we can make that happen, you tell me what palms we need to grease or whatever. Like I'm there.
Whoa! Harvey Weinstein. What?
Not in that way. Meaning, like if we got to pay some people off to get some access to Nicholas, that's what I'm talking about. Grease and palms. That's what I'm talking about. Not whatever you were thinking I was talking about.
Nicholas Cage. And when you watch the movie, you'd have to be on shrooms too.
Bro, I'm in. Like I everything that we've talked about so far about this whole experience, bro. I'm there. Like just let me know. Just let me know the place, the time, and let's get it. Let's make this Nick Cage movie.
All right, say no more, man. We're gonna tweet Nicolas Cage immediately after this podcast with a clip, and man, we got your next movie. It is already damn near written right here on the Creators Edition number 4 of the POF Pod. So
it's right there, bro. You know,
shout out to you, the 5 Asian ladies with white dogs, and the Las Vegas Strip.
Where we all at? Shout out to the 5 Asian ladies. We don't know yet, but be out here making that money.
That would be better than the Hangover series, actually, in my opinion.
Not just your opinion, in my opinion also. So like I think in most people's opinion, particularly once you start getting to like the Hangover sequels.
Yeah. No, I don't know, man. The Hangover in Thailand was really good in Bangkok. That one was good.
I saw the first part of Hangover 2 and I was out on the whole series. I don't know what that says about me, but like I was done. I was just like, ah. And I think part of it too was like I liked the first one so much that it was just like I don't think any other one had a chance, honestly.
Yeah.
I
It
think
was
I think
too
it was one of
iconic.
those situations with me, you know.
Yeah. Very iconic first movie to a series of movies for sure.
Oh,
It's like
100%. Like to me, like you couldn't beat the whole fact that, and this is spoilers, you ain't seen the first Hangover, then like I don't know what you've been doing. But like
yeah.
I think the thing that made it for me was the fact that this cat was on the roof the whole damn time. That was a thing that really just hit strong with me. And they're looking for him like all over and they're retracing all their steps.
Man, dude, The Hangover is just a good ass movie, man. Like real
It
talk.
is,
Like
man. It's just a good movie.
yeah, man. Like even just like living in Vegas, you're like, damn, that's cool that movie was made here in Vegas. It's actually living in Vegas in general is there's so many cool things about it. Like there's so much cool shit that
Yeah.
comes out here. Yeah, like all the good events, you got the boxing events, the UFC events,
Oh yeah.
the wrestling events, everybody comes out here for the shows, like as far as tours goes, but definitely as the performers go as well. Like they all come out here, the comedians, just everybody. So like it's just right there at your leisure, right there on the strip is just 10-15 minutes away, and boom, you can go and catch the next WWE.
That's one of the things that like I think when people who think about living in Vegas, they don't think about that aspect of it. They think about, just casinos and strip clubs or whatever. They don't really think about like if you're just living there, you're just a regular person, there's all types of stuff that you just can do. Like there's never like when you're living in a city like Pittsburgh for me, like we got stuff like that, but it's very limited. Like there's 2 or 3 of whatever it is you're trying to go to. And in a place like Vegas, like the options just kind of like unlimited entertainment wise.
Oh yeah, man, dude, some lightning just went down out here, and that shit scared the shit like the ish out of me, bro. It's like you were talking, and then I heard it. I'm like, what was that? I guess it's lightning right now out here, but bro, this is a crazy weather city because it's like 110 degrees outside, but it's like monsoon weather, so it looks like it's gonna rain, and it's very confusing.
Wow.
It's very confusing because you don't know if you want to put on like some jams and make some hot coffee and put on a movie, or if you want to go swimming. But probably not swim though, because if the lightning's happening right now, that would
It's a wrap for you.
Like,
It's a wrap.
Struck by lightning in the pool, like you're a fried fish. You're a fried fish.
You're done. Like your life is over now. Like you're done. Like I hope you did everything you wanted to do. It's a wrap for you.
Dude, is it raining too right now? Oh my gosh. All right. What we got going on the screen right here? It's monsooning right now. Oh my gosh. It's like flash flooding over there. Oh my gosh. It's like flash flooding outside right now all of a sudden. What is this? Anyways, all right.
I'm gonna be good at the goods house.
Oh, we're gonna be good. We're gonna be all right.
Oh, bro! Like I just saw the Black Panther trailer, and the way I don't know if you've seen that yet, but the way they transition from the trailer music into it's like this more traditionally like song into that We Gonna Be All Right by Kendrick Lamar throughout the trailer as it starts ramping up. Probably one of the best trailers I've ever seen, just in terms of how they put that together. It was friggin' amazing. Friggin' amazing.
Is Kendrick doing the soundtrack again?
I assume so. I didn't read anything on that, but I haven't been looking for it. So, but like based off of from what I heard in the trailer, it sounds like it. That I was bopping that soundtrack for like a year, maybe 2. Like after that movie came out and after that soundtrack came out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hope he does. Like if he's not, I'll be upset.
Yeah, that soundtrack was crazy. That soundtrack was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the best soundtracks in a while for a movie, and you know it was such a variety on there too. There was a lot of West Coast artists on there.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of West Coast artists. Do you know who SBE? What are they called again? RBE, SBE, SOB?
No.
No, SOB and RB. I can't remember the name all of a sudden, but they had some songs on there. They're like a Bay Area, a Bay Area rap group that kind of like got popping off, and then they had a couple records on the Black Panther soundtrack. Then there's an artist named Mozzie who was on there as well. He had a pretty big song off of that soundtrack, actually, that they played during the movie. And yeah, have you ever heard of Mozzie?
Not outside of just, you know, that soundtrack.
Okay, yeah, good, pretty good West Coast artist. He just signed with Yo Gotti and those boys over there. So, I think they'll start. You'll start hearing some more of him. Like he's been doing his thing for a while, but it's one of those situations where he's been independent for so long that probably like a lot of people from different demographic and areas, you know, like Pennsylvania, for example, may not even know who he is yet. But on West Coast wise, like I don't think he can walk through a mall out here without being recognized. You know,
that's what's up, though, man. That's what's up when you put that type of work in, man, and you get that recognition. That's what's up.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, man. Okay, so looks like she's holding the car. I know she's been holding the car for a while. We got planes in the sky, the helicopter.
Yep. Just kind of setting that chaotic kind of scene. And I think once I place this last one, that might be it. I might cap it there.
What? Why did Mama Good say something made her want to cry? What were we talking about that would make her want to cry?
I don't know, man. Maybe she really likes goddamn Nicolas Cage hanging out with some little old ladies, man. Maybe that was from the movie she's been wanting to see, but she didn't know it until she heard it. And it just struck a chord, man. You know what I was saying?
Take me.
Waiting for a minute.
I know, man. Well, I'll tell you what, man. On Wednesday, you know, it's our anniversary. So
there it is, man. Happy anniversary! All the good stuff that comes with that.
Yeah, you gotta add the NikeMD to the photo. You gotta let them know what's up.
Gotta let them know, bro.
Has anybody ever tried to steal your content and say they made it?
Yeah.
I guess there's no way to stop that, huh? It's always gonna happen.
It's one of those things you just gotta you do what you can do, and just let the chips fall where they may. Because it's like you said, like there's not too much else you can do. Put your logo on stuff. You know, when you see your stuff being stolen or whatever, like you do your best to try to get it taken down or whatever. But like outside of that, like there's just I had a conversation because there's like a Discord that a couple of different content creators are on. That one of the producers, one of the Giantess, it's for Giantess producers that one of the guys made, and like there's a whole section on piracy, like where people are putting their stuff up at. So we try to stay on top of that if someone sees something. But like one of the things I said in there is like all you can really do is when you see it, do what you need to do to get it taken down, take the steps, but you're just never going to stop it. Something's just never going to stop. You know, you're never going to be able to stop it from happening. So the best you can do is fight it when you see it, and then just, you know, go on with your life, because you'll drive yourself crazy trying to find ways to get people on the internet to stop stealing your stuff. But you know, it's just always going to happen. You just got to do what you can do. Because the thing that I found is the vast majority of people, one, don't know where to get that stuff, don't know where to go on the internet to even find your stuff for free if it's being posted somewhere. And two, they want the people who want to see your stuff and will support you, they'll support you regardless. You know, they're going to find a way to support you. And it's very rare that someone who's really supporting you is just going to be like, oh, well, I'm paying for this. I found it free or most of it free. Like, I'm going to stop supporting them. Most people understand, particularly if you're doing this for a living or for money, they kind of understand, like they're doing this for their livelihood. Like, I'm not going to just go ahead and pirate it. Like, the people who are going to pay you are going to pay you. It's very rare you're going to transfer someone who's going to pay you into not paying you because they found it somewhere else for free. Like, the person who was going to pay you anyway is going to pay you anyway. The person who wasn't going to pay you anyway is going to continue to look for ways to get it for free anyway. So it's like, at some point, if they find it for free, they're going to get it. They're always looking. So it doesn't do you any benefit to try to just stomp out all piracy of your content everywhere, because it's never going to happen. It's just, you do your best and you live with what happens.
I get what you're saying. It's all really good advice right there. You're the man.
Because you'll drive yourself crazy, man. I did at first drive myself crazy over that. And then it's just like anything else. You start to learn what your effort nets you. Like, if you're spending 80% of your effort in this one area and it's not changing, after a while, you're going to wonder, do I still need to be spending 80% of my effort here if nothing's not changing? Like, what's it netting me? Like, what am I actually getting out of it?
Right. Yeah.
And even if it's not 80, if you're spending 20, like, even if it's 20%, it's just like, if it's not netting you anything, why am I still spending 20% of my time or effort fighting this thing?
No, that's facts, man. I look at a lot of stuff in that kind of form of fashion too. It's like, if it's not serving me no purpose or no good, then why would I invest me and my time on it? And like, especially if it's something that is like a frustrating thing, such as pirating somebody's or somebody pirating your content. It's like, dude, I'm not spending no time on that, man, because it's just gonna make me frustrated and make me act out of emotion, and that's like the worst. That's like the worst time to even react on something. It's just, like, you gotta just get stuff done,
Yeah, that's huge. What you said right there is huge. Like, sometimes you gotta step back, and that's what I do in a lot of the pirating situations. Like, I step back for a little bit because, like, particularly when I first did it, now it's easier for me to get into this mindset. When it first started happening, you just get so caught up in the fact that, like, you spent all this damn time on this, all this effort, you spent all this money on equipment, on locations, on paying people, and then someone's just pirating your shit and not giving a fuck. Like, it hurts you at a level that's just like, at first, where you're just like I'm done. Like, at some level, you're just like, if people are gonna do this, I'm just out. I'm just not doing this no more. Fuck this. Like, it's like, it's not worth it. And then when you step back and you start to realize that, like, there's people out there that if you make your content easy enough, like, they just gotta pay whatever amount of money real easy. You don't have to worry about when it comes out of their account, stuff like that. If you make it easier for them to get, most people will do it. The same way, like, with Game of Thrones. Like, Game of Thrones was the most pirated series of all time. Probably still is. Once they put that on HBO Max and they spun it out of just, you haven't had the cable cut, because a lot of people were pirating it because they cut the cord, so they weren't going to be able to get HBO anyway. But when they spun off HBO Max and they put the last season, and they turned it to 2 half seasons, it was one of the most watched shows out there, and the piracy levels went down because they made it easier for people to get.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. I ain't gonna lie, I did watch it on, like, the Fire Stick on the at first. I got HBO now, though. I was just playing. I didn't do that. That was an alleged situation.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was doing it we was in college, man, or whatever, when it was coming out, or whenever it came out. Like, I think I was in college. We were touring in it, and because, like, we had no money for no damn cable, let alone no HBO in college. And then when I got out, I had some dough. I just didn't. When I got out of college, I just stopped pirating stuff just generally. If I didn't have the money for it, I just didn't. I just didn't do it. But once I did have the dough, and they were like, "Oh, HBO Max, yeah." That's the only subscription service that the day that I bought it, I haven't canceled, was HBO Max. Only one, because I like HBO shows. I like watching the movies, and it's a reasonable price, and it makes me not want to pirate.
Yeah,
but yeah, bro,
facts.
This one is finito.
Hey, we already got 500 views on this episode. Shout out to that, man. Shout out to the peeps. Shout out to the peeps. Even though we only got like at the moment like 4 concurrent viewers, it's okay, man. We've been on for almost 3 hours. It's okay.
It's been a minute. Well, for them 4 people, man, and we're gonna show them some stuff that's on the Patreon that they might not have seen. So we're gonna give them a little something extra today.
Yeah, but we went higher. Yeah. Oh, see, man, y'all that stuck around get to see some exclusives. But you know, man, shout out to everybody that did zoom through. Oh.
Yeah, that's the variant. That's the one that's on Patreon right now. So that's the variant to this one.
Fly. Shout out to Jade, man.
She's all right. I mean, she came with that attitude when we were making the thing. So let me see if I can pull it up. I don't know if I have it downloaded or not, but she came like I told her, like I said, to just kind of walk up, and she just came with that energy, man. She just came with it. Particularly on these ones, man. She just came with that attitude, that energy, and brought it.
Yeah. She's got the perfect energy for this kind of content for sure.
Yep. So she did the darn thing, man.
She got some nice souls too, and all that, man. Shout out to that.
She got some real nice feet, man.
Don't get jealous, mama.
Like the other stuff that I got will be going up on Patreon, but we got some other dope shots with her that I still got to get out that are here. They're still loading up, but give people just a look at some of the thumbnails. But yeah, man,
like 1,000 pictures.
Oh, we took a lot, and this is just from one set. This was just one set that we did. But yeah, just a little look at the thumbnails as they load up a little bit to what's coming on the Patreon. See the little sock mover while she's playing Switch. And that was actually my Switch, and she was playing Kirby on there. She had first time she ever playing it. Like, it was legit distracting her. Like, I was calling out poses, and like she was, huh? What? So like, yeah, she was super into it. So like, it's real like unaware, like ignore set, because like she was truly unaware. She was just sucked into that game. So yeah.
He said she was playing Kirby. Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, bro. She was into it. But yeah, man, these were some of the shots we took. I think those are the only ones that are loaded up right now.
It's looking good, man. I know it's gonna be a fire set on the Patreon for sure.
Yeah. These ones are actually from that other one. Let's see if they load up real quick. If not, we can just leave it for. But yeah, this one. So yeah.
Woo-hoo. That's a fire shot right there.
That was one of the ones where she was just really engrossed in it. Like I think I was telling her to cross her feet, and like she just wasn't hearing me. All she was just hearing was Kirby. So we had to kind of tone it down for a little bit. But yeah, she was in there, man. She was doing her thing.
Yeah, that's a dope shot. I like how she's got one toe in the sock, just doing the spread. Yeah,
she did all that on her own, man. She just, like, certain people got it. Like, they just know. Kate, who I'm shooting with tomorrow, is like that. Like, she just knows. Like, you know, it's just one of those things where you just kind of know.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. It's one of those type of situations.
You know. I could dig it. That's a nice little bed frame you got there.
That's from the studio. I rent space in the studio from another photographer, and that's what she has in the studio, man.
That's why it's like an artsy bed frame. I was like, all right, NikeMD's got like the artsy bed frame.
No! Guy. If I had to do that, no, it'd be some IKEA joint. I'm gonna have one of the models I work with who has like way more sense than me help me when I get my own studio. She's gonna help me out with the design of it. But here's someone that I do want to show. It was probably one of my favorites as we did recently. Was Sunny, that came out super dope in the same studio.
I'm trying to get Sunny on a podcast, but she'll never follow me back, so it's all good.
I'll let her know she's looking, but like I'll let her know you're looking out, but she might be busy or whatnot.
It's all good, Sunny. I get it. You already told NikeMD you don't want to get on the podcast. I understand. I'm just gonna cry a little bit in the corner later.
She don't fuck with everybody, so yeah, I might have to just let her know, like, yo, like you're looking for you, because like a lot of models don't, because there's so many DMs.
Go back to that last one. That was crazy. Hey,
this one is dope. So this one we kind of came
Wow.
at from the behind, because like I wasn't even thinking about lighting this the way I lit it. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of people will think because of the natural sunlight that this is all naturally lit, but it's
Yeah.
not. So you can even see like the flash like in the background. So all these shots have the sun behind her, so it kind of outlines a lot of her. And some of these shots, and particularly this one, like the sunlight from behind is like separating her from the background. So that's where you see natural sunlight, the lens glare that I had to finagle my lens to get that. But the reason why you can see the other parts of her soul so clearly in her face is because I had my double flash going. I had a flash coming from here, a flash coming from here, and I took the softbox sheet off of it, so it's just hard light, so it matched the sunlight. So even in photos like this, where it doesn't look like there's a lot going on, there's a lot going on because there's two flashes
Yeah.
being used here, plus the sunlight from behind her that gives you that like highlight curve on her sneaker. Like this is all from the sun. These parts here are all from the sun, and then the light that's on her feet and on the soles on her face are from the flash.
She should do she should do music or something, man. She's got like that look, that image for like a pop star, a rock star, or something like that.
She's I mean, I think she's just naturally that way, man. She naturally just has her own just type of vibe, and her own senses is different from most people, like she's just that person, even from like day one, when we first shot, like she was that person from day one.
I'm about to write her a record, send it to her, and be like, all right, look, I get it, you don't want to be on the podcast, but I got this record for you.
let me let her know you're doing it first, because what's probably going to happen is she's probably going to post that message on her story making fun of like, who's this clown sending me this stuff, like look at this, y'all.
She's like, who the fuck is Daddy Goods? Like, who's this weird Daddy Goods guy?
But
probably
yeah,
everybody first thought of me, they're like, look at this weird guy Daddy Goods. Who does he think? Yeah, bro. You're the man, bro. Thank you for showing us and sharing all this stuff right here with Sonny and Jay. We know the Patreon exclusives being right here on the POF POD Daddy Goods channel, man. That's big. I appreciate you taking the time and kicking it and sharing your knowledge and all that, man. That's huge. And I'm not just saying this because we're live on the show and all that stuff, but man, for real, man, appreciate that.
Nah, most def, man. Like I said before, man, I appreciate what you're doing. Like I said before on the show too, it's like there's just not a lot of people doing it, man. So, like I always say, man, anything you need from me, just let me know.
All right, well, I think that when that GTA 6 drops, man, I'm gonna let you get me that new studio. You know what I'm saying? What?
I'm dead serious about that for the people out there, man. Put some dough in it. If you got a couple shillings, man, even if it's just like $100 or something, man. Like if it goes the way it went last time, like you can make, like if you put in 100 and you make like 50, like that's still $50 extra you ain't have.
That's facts. That's facts right there. $50 you ain't had.
You set up your little Cash App or your Robinhood to take $1 out a week, or like it's just a small amount that you don't even notice, to just keep taking it out and just don't touch it. Then that's the easiest way to kind of do it.
That's 2 months on the POF POD membership channel at tier 3. If you were to invest and make $50, just that's 2 months on the POF POD premium tier number 3. So, join the channel is what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
There it is. Join the channel with that GTA money.
Oh wait, but most importantly, join his Patreon. So maybe 1 month POF POD, and then next month Patreon NikeMD. Yeah, because that's where a lot of this fire art is right here.
Do both if you can, man. Because like that's a pet peeve I have, is like people just being like, and I'm not talking about everybody, because there's some people, and I've been there myself, where like we're spending $10 on something that you don't actually need, hurt your wallet. I've been there, so I ain't talking about y'all. I'm just saying, for the people who are actually making decent dough, they got discretionary income, that are still like being super stingy when it comes to supporting people. It's like it'll be the same people who will say that, who got the money for it. Let me make that clear. Will be like, nah, man, your Patreon's too much. Meanwhile, they just spent like $50 at the bar for nothing.
Yeah.
Like they were just cooling it. They didn't really do nothing afterwards. They were just there. They spent some drinks, and then that was it. Or they spent like $200 on something that they don't even use no more, like some piece of exercise equipment, and being like, yeah, $8 for a month of content or whatever it is isn't worth it enough. So nah, man, like I'm not gonna spend that dough. Like they mix up the context.
Just at the bar getting bamboozled, trying to buy every girl a drink. Couldn't even.
Not even get finessed out of dough. Get finessed out of money.
I ain't gonna lie. I've been everything. I've been finessed.
I think that's been a lot of dudes. I think that's been most of us. We've been finessed at some point. And if you haven't been finessed at one point, then you just was down here trying. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say it like
if you're gonna get finessed though, make it like a really hot chick though. Like make it like Sunny. Yeah. Right? Go get finessed by Sunny or something. You know what I mean?
I remember one of the first times we were together. Sunny's a dancer, and she was like telling me this story, and like I just couldn't get past this point because she was talking about finessing dudes out of money on the stage, like it was like the same way I'd be talking about making collages, like it was matter of fact because that was her job, and she was like, yeah, man, I was on stage, and I was, they switched the songs on me, so I lost my flow. I was finessing this dude out of like $5 at a time, and they messed up my flow, and I'm just like, I just couldn't get past that part where it's just like. Yeah, because that's what they're there for, man. They're there to entertain the same way, like, if you join someone's OnlyFans or whatever, like, yeah, you pay to cover to get into the club or whatever, but yeah, you tip because they're providing entertainment, man. Like, that's what it's about, Same way you go to someone's OnlyFans or whatever, like, yeah, you pay to cover to get in there, but if you get in their entertainment or doing whatever, like, shoot the tips too.
That's facts right there, though, man. Like that's a great point and a great analogy right there. Yeah, you pay the cover to get in, then shoot the tips too, and do it as often as you can. Like if you can, See, man, y'all taking daddy goods for granted, man. Y'all just love this free stuff, man. I love this free stuff, man. This is the last episode I'm doing, everybody. Hey, the rest.
But like I said, man, it's one of those things where like the people who want to support you will support you, Like that's why I still put out free pics on my Instagram. That's why I'm gonna put that, the one we did with Jade, we'll put that on the IG and whatever. And like I do stuff like this is because like go way to get it out there. But the people who want to support you will support you, man. Like you can never like convince somebody to do something they're not predisposed to do. Like there's no stripper in the world, or like just to use an analogy you're looking, that can finesse a dude who ain't being willing to be finessed. You know what I mean? Like you might get me once, but like you ain't gonna get me twice. But if you're there every day or every week at the club getting finessed, or like you're there because you're there. Like that's your entertainment. That's what you do. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing with anything else. Like if people are really down for whatever you're doing, like and they really like it, like. And you're saying you're charging money for it, they're going to do it. The people who aren't, they aren't. You're not going to convince them to do it.
Yeah, you're right. And Chris, you're also right. This is not the last episode I'm going to do. You're right. It's not the last episode that I do. The next episode is going to be just me, though, ranting for an hour straight.
Just going off. Just going ham. Just going ham. It's like on every single gripe that you've ever had, like you're just going in. You like Peter Griffin, like what really grinds my gears. And he's just doing a what really grinds my gear episode for like an hour.
I mean, you could just go to my Instagram for that. That's kind of what I do on Instagram.
That's your whole IG vibe.
On the Daddy Goods Instagram, the pet peeves, Daddy Goods pet peeves, thoughts while driving. Like there's a lot of griping going on. I turn up the tempo on my voice just to make it a little more comical, but it'd be for real pet peeves of mine. I'll be like, look at this person like driving like an idiot, like
there's always some truth in like stuff like that. Like it doesn't matter what it is. Like there's always some truth in like little stuff like that. So
yeah, it's true right there, man. Well, shoot, man. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Got a little cool
it's
little
actually a commission
photo.
I did from back in the day. Yeah, this one I think Cosmic she commissioned of her and Moody and Matthew McKitten as the Powerpuff Girls. So I did a little Professor X type of thing.
I like that, man. Shout out to Math McKitten and Cosmic and Moody. That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Moody around in a while. She been dropping content that you know of?
I haven't seen her in a while either, man. I haven't even thought about it for a minute. So I'm glad you actually said that because I need to check out to see because I don't know.
Yeah. Well, shout out to her. Hopefully everything's solid. And definitely shout out to Mathma and Cosmic, man. Mathma's episode on the POF POD is just going ham.
I listened to I think I listened to all of it. I think I caught all of it.
Yeah, she's hit the YouTube algorithm pretty tough. Like she's getting like at least a 1,000 views a day for like the last like
ooh, that's what's up, bro. That's definitely what's up.
Yeah. So doing solid. Man, hey, thank you, NikeMD. I mean, I know that this episode right here is also gonna, do some great things as well and reach some amazing people. And I know they're gonna learn from it and they're gonna appreciate what you got going on and what you've done once again. And hopefully we can do this again and again and again and just keep on having fun, man. We have some great conversations and man, it could be about anything and everything, man. And we proved that today, man, because National Treasure 3 is about to drop. Everybody, by the way, I don't know when, but we got to get a hold of Nicolas Cage first. So that's our first task at hand.
If you know a group of old Asian women who want to be in a movie, man, hit us up.
Yes, please do, and maybe we can make an attempt at arranging something. You never know, man. Well, sure, man. Thanks, NikeMD, man. I'm gonna go ahead and log us out here, man. Thank you everybody who tuned in, man. Special shout out to the people who been in the comments throughout the 3-hour broadcast here. Shout out to that. It looks like a lot of people have stopped by and tuned in. I'm sure there's going to be many more. Shout out to Giantess Studios. I see Agnetha. Shout out to you, Chris, of course, moderating the chat as usual.
Dude have been around for a minute making stuff.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm. I don't want to say dude. I don't know the sexual orientation, so I'll say they've been around for a minute making stuff.
Yeah, I have to check out Giantess Studios. I have to see check out your channel, see what your channel's looking like and all that. Hit me up on Twitter or on IG or something like that, Giantess Studios. We'll maybe figure something out, man. So appreciate you sticking around the whole entire broadcast. I love to see that there is some people that will stick around for the whole entire cast. I understand not everybody can stick around for a 3-hour cast. That's super understandable. But it's here and it's there. And we're gonna have time steps this time. So if people want to, kind of zoom to the parts that they specifically want to see, that should be available for you. Other than that, and shout out Mama Goods, of course. I'm hoping that you are prepared for what's next. What? Other than that, oh my bad. Here we go. Other than that, man, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We'll holler at y'all next time.
Acting a straight fool on the podcast. Acting a straight fool.
That's all we do, man. Gotta have fun. We out. Oh wait, hold on. Gotta drop that right quick. Now we out.